Live from the swamp in Ponchatoula, Louisiana, Cox Sports Television and Crescent City Sports are proud to bring you high school football. Tonight, it's a non-district matchup as the Brother Martin Crusaders visit the Ponchatoula Green Wave. Hello, everybody. With Coach Wade Kaiser, I'm Ken Berthelot, and tonight, the Brother Martin Crusaders, 2-0, are here to take on the Ponchatoula Green Wave, 1-1, the last non-district contest for both of these schools. What are Live from the swamp in Ponchatoula, Louisiana, Cox Sports Television and Crescent City Sports are proud to bring you high school football. Tonight, it's a non-district matchup as the Brother Martin Crusaders visit the Ponchatoula Green Wave. Hello, everybody. With Coach Wade Kaiser, I'm Ken Berthelot, and tonight, the Brother Martin Crusaders, 2-0, are here to take on the Ponchatoula Green Wave, 1-1, the last non-district contest for both of these schools. What are the coaches looking for tonight before they start district play?
Well, for both of them, it's the last tune-up. I mean, they want to iron out all mistakes that have happened the past 2 weeks. They want to make sure going forward, because they're both going to be in district play next week, that they are primed and ready to go, and that engine is running smooth.
We're going to see one of the most exciting quarterbacks in the state of Louisiana, maybe even in the nation, in LSU commit T.J. Finley, 6'7". He can wing it.
Tell you what, he's one of the largest quarterbacks I've ever seen, and he's got one of the strongest arms out of quarterbacks I've ever seen. Look, he can make every throw with accuracy. He's got one of the best offensive coaching minds in the state of Louisiana that's grooming him, and he has a great IQ for football. You know, so Hank Tierney is doing a great job grooming this young man to be an SEC quarterback.
Well, he'll be facing a Brother Martin defense that has yet to give up a point in 8 quarters. Can TJ be the first one to put some points on the board against the Crusader defense?
We're going to find out tonight, because if there's a term that identifies Brother Martin defense, it's stingy.
Yeah.
All right, they're very stingy. 8 3-and-outs in 2 games. 8 3-and-outs. From being a defensive coordinator, that's big. All right, all those years that I coordinated defense, we always preach 3-and-out, get off the field, get your guys off the field, and they've been doing it for the past 2 weeks. So how are they going to defend T.J. Finley tonight? That's going to be the question. It's going to be fun to watch.
It is going to be fun to watch, and we'll find out in just a little while whether the Brother Martin Crusader bends but doesn't break, or T.J. Finley can actually put those points on the board. An interesting matchup ahead from the swamp in Ponchatoula, Louisiana. Be right back with the kickoff right after this.
The Ronnie Lamar used car superstore. When you walk in it, you're going to say, wow. For your lifestyle and budget in mind. It's not Wall Street money. It's Mealy Street money from Araby, Louisiana, where I grew up as a kid. Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignment, struts, servicing your transmission, and we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. You're going to love the experience.
Louisiana Dental Center, your dental home team.
High school football from Crescent City Sports on Cox Sports Television is brought to you by Lamarck Ford. See all the huge things happening at the big store in Kenner. By the Allstate Sugar Bowl, sponsor of all LHSAA championship events. By NOLA Lending Group, your home field advantage. By Riverlands Insurance, meeting all your insurance needs. And by the Louisiana Dental Centers, your dental home team. Welcome to the swamp in Ponchatoula, Louisiana. Brother Martin won the toss. They deferred. So T.J. Finley and Jacoby Matthews and company will have the ball first, and back deep is Matthews. But this will be a good kick, and it looks like T.J. Finley and company will start at the 20-yard line. And, well, we get to see T.J. right off the bat. He's the LSU commit. He's got it all.
Right. I mean,
strength, power, and, of course, there's old Hank Tierney. We'll talk about him in just a moment. One of the all-time winningest coaches in Louisiana high school football.
It's like I said in the pregame show. He can make all the throws, and he has a high IQ for football, and he's being tutored by one of the best. So put all that together, have all the combinations of it together, it equals SEC quarterback.
A lot of people or compare him, at least, to Jamarcus Russell. They say they remind them very much of what Jamarcus Russell looked like when he was in high school and when he went to LSU, and he'll throw on first down. Here comes a big rush, and he'll go down under that rush. Got caught up in maybe his own blocker being pushed into him, but that's that push you're going to get from that Brother Martin defense.
Right, that was Grady Labe, Noah Labe right there on that particular tackle. Noah Labe right there was all over it. Had a nice swim move inside, and he gets his first sack on the evening.
Well, we're going to take a look at the offensive starters for Ponchatoula in just a minute. It's second down. And again, this Brother Martin defense has been very stingy. They have not given up a point in 8 quarters. It's helped that offense get started. Look at this. Picked off. Yes, there's an interception by Trevor Tate. My goodness, he tipped it and came down with it. Thought for a moment he may have dropped it, but what a break for the Brother Martin Crusaders, and the defense forces a turnover right off the bat.
Tip drill, one of the things that they've been trying to do with T.J. Finley this year is to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker. Well, they're throwing the 90 game or the 3-step drop game. He gets rid of it real quick, but right into the path of the drop of Trevor Tate. Trevor Tate gets the tip on it, makes the great play for huge turnover, and puts Brother Martin in business right there inside the red zone. There's a good look at Trevor Tate right there.
Yeah, he's fired up and has every right to be. So that'll bring out Garrett Mamahat, the young sophomore quarterback who started 5 games as a freshman. And they like to run it, but that young man right there, Chris Smith, tries the right side on first down, but runs into Gabriel Timrick. Garrett Mamahat last year wasn't expecting to play, but all of a sudden the starter, Drew Martin, went down with a season-ending injury. And it came down to either Isaiah Tarragano, who took the team for 2 games, but the offense was a little stagnant. And in the Shaw game, Mamahat got a chance last year to come in, and his first penalty of the game right there. Our referee is Kevin Blaze from the Hammond Association.
Well, the holding penalty sets them back right there. That's what Brother Martin doesn't like to do. They don't want to be behind the sticks. They don't want to be off of track. They don't want to be off schedule. And this is going to bring up a second or first and long for him right off the bat.
The handoff, and they'll just run straight ahead. Chris Smith again. Good look at Mamahat's activity up to this point. He's thrown 26 times, completed 11, has 2 touchdowns, but with the stat you don't see up there is 0 interceptions.
And that's big. And, you know, Mark Bonice was talking to me before the game about how they love this guy. He's got all the right ideas and can make all the right decisions as being a young quarterback.
Chris Smith again, but nothing there. One thing Chris Smith, and as he's tackled by Timrick, and Jalen Spears as running backs have talked about, is a very big experienced line opening up gigantic holes for them. Now it's not working that way for Brother Martin on this first offensive series, but you've got 5 offensive line starters returning this year, and they know they have to give Garrett some time. The throw to the left side, and that is complete to John Lewis. Pardon me, on the right side, Joe Delaney with the catch.
I think it's going to be short of the first down. It was a great route. Mamahat gets out of the pocket, gets out on the corner, throws a nice strike out there to Joe Delaney on the out route. Joe Delaney just didn't get the sticks, so he's going to end up a little bit short. And now it's the first major decision of the night Bonice has got to make with his Crusader offense, and it looks like they're going to go for it, Kim.
As a very good field goal kicker. But this is an offense that is pretty good in short yardage. And they'll keep it with Smith, and Smith has got the first down and a whole lot more.
They run the inside zone to Smith. That's their bread and butter. We're going to see all night out of the running game that the Brother Martin offensive line likes to play smash mouth football. They're going to come off, get into the inside zone game, and give the ball to Spears and Smith running up inside the tackles.
They're going up tempo. They're speeding it up a little bit. If they can catch him, Smith again up the middle, big hole. We talked about that offensive line opening up holes, and they do as Smith goes through the hole into the end zone for the touchdown.
Huge hole right there on the inside zone. They ran the exact same play. They went up tempo real fast, like you said, Ken, and that offensive line just knocks everything in green off of the ball, opens up a huge hole right in the A gap, just left of the center, and he walks into the end zone.
Number 17, Zach Landry.
All of this set up by a huge turnover.
I was about to say points off turnovers, man.
Right. Trevor
It'll get
Tate.
you every time.
Kick is up.
Jack Landry with the point after. And very early in this game, off a turnover, the Brother Martin Crusaders have a one-touchdown lead and kick off to the Green Wave when we come back.
Over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for disaster, we prepare.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services. Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
For more than half a century, Gills Bar has offered services, solutions, and support for businesses and associations looking for happier constituents and healthier bottom lines. To learn more on how Gills Bar can help your business, visit gillsbar.com.
Chris Smith on a 5-yard run caps a 5-play drive after an interception by Trevor Tate of T.J. Finley, and the Crusaders lead this one 7-0. And again, a very strong leg and kickoff by Jack Landry. We'll see the Green Wave starting again at their own 20-yard line. Let's take a look at the Ponchatoula offense. The starters are brought to you by Riverlands Insurance.
Well, they got a lot of great players, Ken, especially at the skill area. You're going to take a look at especially number 11 right there. He is the brother of T.J. Finley, Coda Finley. He's going to have to have a great night. They're going to have to get the ball in his hands if they're going to have some success.
They do have some guys that can move the football. DeMontrell Osby has a lot of speed and scored on an end around last week. Good throw by Finley right off the fingertips of Jacoby Matthews. And Matthews is one of those super sophomores that Hank Tierney's trying to build his offense and build his team around.
Well, T.J. Finley put it right on the money. Great seam route on 4 verticals. He gets rid of the ball fast. Hits hit Jacoby Matthews right in the middle of his hands. No better place to put the ball, and he just drops the pass. He would still be running right there. I think he would have zipped right past the safety, and it probably would have been gone for 6.
Now, we're talking about sophomores. He's got 7 sophomores starting on offense as he builds for the future. Here on 2nd down and 10. Good run around the left end. That's Braden Johnson with his first carry of the ball game, running into Devon Moore.
You know, with the throwing game that Ponchatoula has, it should really open up the running game. And Braden Johnson, 5'10", 205-pound sophomore, is a solid running back. He should be able to find some spots in there where he's going to get positive yards all night long. But this is the case where everybody says, well, hold on, the running game's going to open up the passing game. Nah, it's kind of the other way around here at Ponchatoula. They use the pass to open up the run.
And look, his 1 touchdown on the year comes by way of a swing pass out of the backfield. So, like you say, they do use that. Quick toss by Finley, and this will be very close to a first down.
Number 11.
That's Cody Finley catching one from his big brother. Take a look at the Brother Martin defense, brought to you by Riverlands Insurance.
Well, the guy to watch on that Brother Martin defense is the defensive lineman who already has a sack tonight, and that's Noah Labe. All right, he has to be really outstanding tonight. He's got to get pressure on TJ Finley, which he already has done. You know, he's got to get Finley to get off his spot. He's a great defensive lineman, and if I'm not mistaken, Ken, he's got an offer from Cornell already.
He does. Finley scrambling, Finley in trouble, and they get him. Well, a lot of white jerseys around T.J. Finley. Hunter Lasserre with the sack.
Well, they brought blitz that time. They brought Lasserre that time, as well as Labe gets off the block and gets over there and puts pressure on him. What they did here is, watch, they get Finley off of his spot. The pressure he feels already, he goes to step up into the pocket, and he just doesn't stay there. So they're disrupting him by moving his throwing spot in the pocket. You know, that leads to sacks. That leads to interceptions.
With the kind of pressure Brother Martin's defense puts on a quarterback, I don't see Finley holding the ball this long. He's going to have to get that ball out of his hands very quickly, and maybe with short passes, but to move that football, it's going to be maybe a series of short drives, and he likes to just kind of cock back and wind up and throw it long, and that's what he was looking to do that time. But again, the Crusaders get to him, and he is slow to get up. Hunter Lasserre again making personal friends with T.J. Finley back there.
Well, this is what you can't do. You can't hold on to the football. Even Coach Tierney said one of the things he had to change from last year in that 2-8 season was they've got to get the ball out of his hands faster. And what that equals is the quick throwing game. When we've seen them throw the ball quick, it's out of his hands. The pressure isn't on him, and receivers are open a lot quicker. You hold the ball, they're running into coverage.
And when that happens, you face things like 3rd down and 19. Back at your own 23. So they'll set up the screen, throw it. Can they get enough yards out of it? Johnson again. And this time it's Logan Johnston, the senior.
Did a nice job setting up the screen. Nothing wrong with the action of the screen itself. All right, they just had a decade to go, and they weren't going to pick up that much yardage. It was a nice execution on the screen by the Green Wave.
Well, we're close to a hydration break as the clock is stopped at 5:57, and the referee stops it. We will be back after this hydration break. T.J. Finley. Green Wave getting set to punt the ball away. Jack Lights to punt it to Devon Moore. Return is on. No rush at all. And this one hits a Ponchatoula player. That might be downed right there. Let's take a look at the Brother Martin offense, brought to you by Riverlands Insurance.
Well, it's going to start with a great offensive line, Ken. That's the big thing. We've already talked about that, and we've seen it in the first drive. It starts up front. This O-line tonight is going to have a huge night for these running backs to do what they like to do and what Mark Bonice likes to do with his offense, and that's going to be run the football. Here's a good look at those guys coming onto the field, and you can see them right there. Canizales, McKevitt, Garcia, Romano, Bourgeois. Those guys have got to be able to open up the holes for them to have success with the run game.
And that's one of the things that big offensive line does, is they open up holes. And Mamahat's throw is kind of tipped at the line of scrimmage and just fluttered incomplete. Luckily, because there were a lot of green jerseys around that, it could have been a turnover easily.
Right there. I'll tell you what, take a look at number 2. This is one of the best athletes on the field tonight, Ken, and everybody out there. This guy is a wide receiver, Jacoby Matthews. He's a defensive back. He's already had offers as a sophomore. He is an outstanding athlete. He's going to probably be the quarterback of the Green Wave in the future as they move forward from TJ Finley next year.
And that starting lineup was brought to you by Riverlands Insurance. Well, we got a flag on that run by Jalen Spears. Up to now, we've just seen Chris Smith, but this flag is going to move the Martin Crusaders back, and they penalized themselves on the first drive, but overcame it, didn't hurt them. Again, let's hear from the Hammond Association referee Kevin Blades.
Holding, offense, number 83, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. We'll replay second down.
You got Logan Farrell right there, probably grabbing a little jersey or a little yank down right there on the pressure. That's going to set him behind the sticks again like it did in the first drive. Again, let's remember, holding is one of those spot fouls in high school football. Everybody that watches it on Saturday and everybody watching on Sunday, it's from the previous spot where the ball was snapped. So this can make your holding penalty not just 10 yards, but it can make it 15 or 20 depending on where the holding was.
And that made it second and 20, and he overthrows a wide open receiver, Jalen Spears, coming out of the backfield, and that would have been a big gainer.
Jalen Spears right there wide open and behind everybody in green, running free down the middle of the seam in between the goalposts. Just a little too much air on the ball by Mamad. I tell you what, I think Eric Mamad looked up there and he saw the receiver so wide open. He got that adrenaline going again, and he just zipped it out there, and boy, he's going to want that back.
Pretty pass, though.
Oh, yeah.
And he was close to the mark. Third down, 20. Fans getting behind their Ponchatoula Green Wave defense. Mamahat with lots of time. He'll scramble out of it and hit Jalen Spears on the far side. And look at this. He's running. He's got yards. He may, well, finally pushed out of bounds on the far sideline. But there you see the speed and just the elusiveness of Jalen Spears, finally pushed out by Tyrese Anderson.
Well, I'll tell you what, it started with Mamhat avoiding the rush right there. Offensive line did a great job setting a pocket for him. Everybody was covered. All he did was step to the left a little bit, get out of the pocket, buy himself a little bit of time, and Jalen Spears wide open down the boundary to give a huge splash play. Here's a good look at it again. Watch him step to his left right there. Very nice. Finds him.
Well, on 3rd and 20, now they'll throw inside to John Lewis on the slant in, and Lewis has it.
10, John Lewis, touchdown.
He is into the end zone. That's a touchdown.
John Lewis runs the slant. Ball's right on the money. Mamhat hits him right between the 1 and the 0. And Brother Martin's on the board again. Wow. Again, Ponchatoula had him in 2nd and long. They get a splash play down the sideline to Jalen Spears. And what does that set up? That sets up the touchdown to John Lewis.
And the extra point is good. Quickly here in the first quarter. Brother Martin has jumped out by 2 touchdowns and leads Ponchatoula 14-0, and the Crusaders celebrate.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good, and we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Your home for the best in coverage of pro, college, and prep sports in the New Orleans area is CrescentCitySports.com. Whether it's news, opinions, live video webcasts of high school sports, or Louisiana's best prep football scoreboard, you can get it all at Crescent City Sports. The name may be new, but it's the same great coverage you've gotten for years from our team of New Orleans natives. Click it now and like us on social media at CrescentCitySports.com.
Mark Bonis happy his team just went 53 yards in 43 seconds and now are comfortably in front of the Green Wave 14-0. Doc Landry's last 2 sailed into the end zone, and this one will too, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. Well, here are tonight's keys to victory presented by Lamarck Ford.
Well, Brother Ken has got to start up front with that offensive line. I already talked about how important they've got to play tonight, and they can't give up any big plays on defense. So far, that's taken place. What does Ponchatoula have to do? They're going to have to get their offensive skill guys into open spaces, get the ball in their hand. That's going to start, of course, with TJ Finley. And then tonight, they've got to win the turnover battle, and so far, they're -1. So thus 14 points on the board already for the Crusaders. That part of the key isn't going too well yet. Hopefully they can get it out quicker like they did right there.
DeMontrell Osby with the reception. Gets a few yards for the Green Wave, and that's what Ponchatoula needs to do. They don't need anything fancy right now. They just need to get yards and get something going for their offense.
They got to get in rhythm, Ken. They got to get in rhythm, and the quickest way to do that is to get the ball out of TJ Finley's hands quickly, get it into his skill receivers in the open spaces, and then mix in that run game, and they can gather some sort of consistency, should I say, in order to be able to get their offense rolling.
Look at the people in the box daring Finley to throw. Finley's going to run. It's hard to bring that big body down. He's got a lot of height and weight, 6'7", 240. When he gets rolling, he's got some momentum. Trevor Tate brings him down this time.
You got him at 6'7", I got him at 6'6". Does it really matter?
No, really not.
He's a big guy. I shook hands with him, Ken, before the game, and I tell you what, his hand came almost all the way up my wrist. That's how big that hand is. Look at those hands on that guy. I tell you what, he can grip a football. He's a big physical specimen. Threw for almost 2,900 yards last year. You can see it right there, 47.4 completion rate. He has really, really got a ton of tools.
And look, can throw it 75 yards down the field with just a flick of the wrist without even warming up. And he'll keep it himself and get the first down. And he might, Rylon Johnson with the tackle, might just use that for a little bit. Hey, I've got the big body. Let me go through and wear this defense down a little bit.
Well, right there, he runs speed option. Reading last man on the line of scrimmage, he decides to keep it. He falls forward. He picks up 3 yards.
He got the first down that time, and that's what Ponchatoula needed just to get something going on a drive. And they're doing that here late in the first quarter. So they've moved the chains. First down for the Green Wave of Ponchatoula and Coach Hank Tierney. Again, he's getting rid of that ball faster with the little flare passes out. This time Braden Johnson, the sophomore, brought down.
Yeah, there's the open space.
By Devon Moore again.
Right, there's that open space, Ken, we were talking about. Get the ball out quick. Get it into your guys' hands. Pick up positive yards. Stay in between the sticks. When you're ready to take that shot because number one can definitely take that shot, all right? And they've got the receivers to be able to go take that shot with. But let's just get him out and let's get him settled down. TJ Finley's got to settle down.
And that guy, 36 right there, Braden Johnson, again, one of 7 sophomores starting on the offensive side of the football for Ponchatoula. So they are young. They are thinking ahead. Johnson again pushing. He might just be short of the first down. It'll be very close. Looks like a yard short, but a good effort by the sophomore Braden Johnson.
Well, Braden Johnson's a solid running back right there. He's put up. Look at that. He spent some time in the weight room. He's 5'10", 205 pounds. He matches well with what this offense sets up for TJ Finley.
Well, TJ's taken some of these short yardage runs himself. Third down, 1 at the 49-yard line of Brother Martin. First time that the Green Wave has been on Brother Martin's side of the 50, and they are going to get the first down again on a good charge by Braden Johnson.
They run the counter play right there, and they missed the hole. The hole was wide open. Looks like some offensive linemen right there were saying, where's he going? We had the thing blocked perfectly, and the running back ran in the wrong hole. They had a nice hold off tackle. Looked like they were running counter trade to the Ponchatoula Green Wave left, and the running back right there, Braden Johnson, just missed the hole.
Now they're going to call the chains out on this one. It looked like the ball was at a little further ahead when his knee went down, but let's see. Pull the chains out, and it's going to be close.
There we go. Just shy. Ooh,
wow. Now a
decision time for Hank Tierney and his offense.
Yeah, and you'd say this early in the game, probably not, but you're down 14-0. You finally got a little momentum going, and do you go for it here?
Hold on. It's real simple. Put one under the center, you snap the ball to him, and have him fall forward.
Fall forward.
He's
going to that simple.
He's 3 yards. So. But here's the decision Hank Tierney and his offense is making. They're going to go for it. I like the decision. I think it's great. I think you got to put Ball in the hands of one, so you got to take the two running backs now. You got to push them forward.
Yep. So Logan Johnston behind him, along with Braden Johnson. They just need to get behind big TJ Finley, who's going to stretch that 6'7", 240-pound frame. Look at the box crowded here. It's a push forward. I don't know.
Oh, he's there.
I think he's got
there.
it. Under the pile, he's got it.
He's there.
If he just dives down under his center, he's got those 3 inches.
I would have loved to see right there in that formation last night Tulane's trick play towards the end of the game.
Yes.
And they call it fumble-rooski. We were talking about this prior to the game, but it's actually a hide play. Okay?
Yes. All right.
There you go.
Finally made the call at the first down. Yes, fumble-rooski is outlawed.
Right.
You cannot run fumble-rooski as Bobby Bowden first ran fumble-rooski. But Hank Tierney knows some tricks. He didn't use any right there. He'll save it. If he's got something, he may save it for district if he's got something up his sleeve.
There's a good look at his career record. I had the opportunity to coach against Hank many times. I started in the profession with Hank. And not only is he a great football coach, but he's a great mentor of young men. He does a great job. Can't say enough about Hank Tierney.
First down. Hey, they went for the interception and didn't get it. And instead, Amorian Walker has a big reception and close to another first down. He picked up about 9.5 on that one, but that was so close to being picked off, and that might have been a pick six had he gotten it.
Well, first rule of a defensive back is if you're going to come both hands in front of the receiver, you better make sure you're picking the ball. Because if you don't, that's what's going to happen. Devon Moore right there missed it, and Amorian Walker was almost off to the races. So, you know, that's just cardinal rules for defensive backs. If you're going to bring both hands in front of the receiver, make sure you're going to pick that football. Otherwise, the coach is going to be yelling at you.
Well, I'm impressed with Ponchatoula on this drive. Trailing 14, they're doing exactly what they needed to do. Short little passes, get rid of the ball quickly. TJ Finley trying to move it. He's going to go for it all this time and overthrows Cody Finley, his little brother, and a flag is down.
I think they're going to get Nick Turner over there for maybe a little hold on Cody Finley.
All right, we're going to go 15 previous spot.
It's either going to be Nick Turner or Adam Randolph. Let's see. Kevin Blaze will explain it to us.
Defense, number 3, 15-yard penalty. The result of the penalty will be a first down.
All right, real quickly for our viewers at home, understanding high school football, no longer is it an automatic first down like it is in college and the pros, okay? So it's 15 from the previous spot where the ball was snapped. If it gives you the first down, that's awesome. If it doesn't, then you're playing the next down. And this gives them the first down on the 15 yards from the previous spot. 5
first downs on this drive for Ponchatoula. And here they go to Johnston. Logan Johnson with the reception. Again, you're taking a Ponchatoula offense, what the defense is giving you.
Right.
What they're allowing you to do, and they're doing it. Torrey Lambert on the tackle.
Well, they're giving them cushion. They're breaking their routes off with the cushion. They're getting the guys in the white jerseys to get a little bit ran out of there. They're breaking their routes, and the ball's being put on the money. Throw and pass, short and quick, good routes by Ponchatoula receivers.
Now they keep it on the ground, and there's some room for Braden Johnson going straight ahead.
Great counter play right there. Pulled the backside guard and tackle. That was Cohen Troxclair and Cohen Barilo, both pulling on the trap, the counter tray play, and that gave a lot of room right up the center of the offense for Braden Johnson to pop that run. Great execution right there by Ponchatoula.
First and goal at the 8-yard line for the Green Wave, and momentum-wise, Ponchatoula needs this score probably in a worse way. Finley drops it and falls on it, and you're going to lose 4 back to the 12.
Well, that's what you got to do. He fumbled the snap a little bit, just couldn't get the grip on it. It's smart whether to try to pick it up. You'll see him kind of bobble it right here a little bit. Yep, you saw it. Didn't he really get a clean catch on the snap from the center? Smart move, fall on the ball, let's live to play another down.
Labe made sure he was down. Oh, Hank Tierney knows he needs to get in there, but this first quarter is coming to an end. So Ponchatoula will try this on the other side of the field after 1 quarter of play. It's been all Brother Martin, but Ponchatoula is threatening to put the first points on the board against the Crusader D.
The kids need braces, I need a root canal, and Dad's old dentures are broken. That means 3 dental appointments all across town.
Bobby Abear?
Mom, you need to call Louisiana Dental Center. They see kids and adults and have specialists at every location. They even have Friday and Saturday appointments.
That's great. I'll call him now. But who's going to do the dishes?
Yeah, I know, me and my big mouth.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
Welcome back to the Swamp. Ken Berthelot, Wade Kaiser, our entire Crescent City Sports and Cox Sports Television crew. Well, you've had some great pictures. It's been all Brother Martin, but Ponchatoula, this could be the first points put on the board against this Brother Martin defense this year. 2 shutouts tossed by the Crusader defense. They opened the season by beating Bird 28-0, and then last week held Carver, an explosive Carver team, out of the end zone with a 10-0 win, and now Ponchatoula behind 14-0 on the first play of the second quarter. Can TJ Finley work a little magic? Finley's looked over the defense carefully. He's going to take it himself, but he's slowed down from behind, dives forward, and he's near the 5. He's inside the 10, but he didn't get there and was brought down by Trevor Tate.
Well, they moved him off his spot again. I think he's holding on to the ball too long. What Brother Martin's done defensively is they've gone to a little press coverage out there on the number 1 receivers, the widest receivers in the formation. So they're taking away those quick stems from the wide receivers to get open. So look for Ponchatoula probably to take a shot here on some sort of fade route, trying to get that defensive man in a trail position of the offensive man, and Finley's going to have to get rid of the ball quick.
Yeah, they were doing so well with that, so don't change that. And that defense you're looking at right there knows they're being tested. Back to where this drive originally started, or this set of downs originally started at the 8-yard line before Finley dropped the ball. Now it's 3rd down goal. Finley faked the run, throws too high, intended for Cody Finley, his little brother, and that'll bring up 4th down and goal.
Brother Martin went to man, a little off man, gave a little cushion that time. Finley thinks like he's going to run. I don't know if all of a sudden, right at the last second, he saw his brother open in the back of the end zone, Cody Finley, and he tries to rifle it in there. Don't know if there was just too much hot sauce on it for him or what happened right there. But I think possibly if he would have taken off and ran that ball right up the center, everything was vacated. He could have probably fallen in the end zone for the touchdown.
Now Jack Light's trying to put the first points on the board against that Martin defense. Anthony Kazdasu is the holder. Kicked up, and it is good. So with 10 minutes and 53 seconds to play at the half, the first points of the season have been put up against the Brother Martin defense on a field goal.
Very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
Having a collision center on the premises where you sell new and used vehicles is a dream come true. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. It's open now. One thing about us, we strive for perfection. Our pre-owned department is magnificent. We are Kelly Blue Book authorized dealer. All makes and models, we're buying them every day. We will purchase your vehicle. We will pay off your existing loan, whether you buy a car or not.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
Mark Bonis has had a successful run here, and his defense has allowed the first points of the season on a 25-yard field goal. And look at this. A nice return. Special teams has been so special. Devon Moore, and that's probably the one guy you don't want to kick it to because he's their top returner. And if he gets his hands on the football on any type of return, punt return or kick return, something magical is going to happen. It almost did right there.
Well, if you can't put it in the end zone, I don't know which one you name your poison with. Devon Moore, who's a solid receiver, or Joe Delaney, who's a really good athlete.
Might not be quite as fast as Devon, but I'll tell you what, a more powerful runner. So we've got 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns, and good field position for this Brother Martin offense. This is their probably worst start of the night, deeper in their own territory than what they've had. And Mama had in trouble. Blitz was on. They got him. Loss of 2.
Tyler Bailey gets off the block right there and gets a big old paw on Garrett Mamahat and pulls him down. 6'2", 260 of Tyler Bailey, and he's only a freshman. Hank Tierney was telling me before the game, he is really high on this sophomore and this freshman crew, and he's starting a couple of freshmen out there, and he starts a ton of sophomores, as you've already said.
Even on his defense, he's starting a lot of young kids, and there's your first down run. Did pretty well. Bringing it down is Chris Smith. Again, Mamahat showing something with the high snap, able to get it to Chris Smith, got the run, got the first down, moved the chains, and don't underestimate this offensive line. It's a senior-laden offensive line. All of your starters returned from last year, and they're working in some of the other guys with that. They'll keep it in the hands of Chris Smith, who will try the outside.
Well, they try the outside sweep off of a zone action by the offensive line. They're trying to get Chris Smith. They run into the short side of the field. Why they run into the short side of the field? Everybody asks that. Why do offenses run a play into the short side of the field? It's a numbers game. You know, how is the defense set up? Where's the 5? Where's the 6? So if we can run it to the short side of the field against the numbers, we feel we'll have a better advantage.
Now they're just keeping that offensive line working. Chris Smith on the run again. Smith does most of the work. Jalen Spears will do a lot of the carries. Albert McCarty pulled Smith down that time, rather. And that'll bring up 3rd and short for Brother Martin to keep this drive alive. And they've scored on every offensive possession, as we said, so far. Both of their offensive possessions. They still have a comfortable lead. Good look at Garrett Mamahat as he just takes possession, leads this team. And again, big hole by that offensive line, and Smith takes advantage of it. And he finds the hole, runs to daylight, and you're just seeing vintage Chris Smith running right here.
They're running the inside zone. That's their bread and butter. We saw this in the first quarter. This is what Brother Martin likes to just physically pound you to the ground with, is the inside zone play.
Gerald Cotoni on the stop.
Right there, it's a perfect example with a huge hole right there for Chris Smith to find.
Now they can pick up the pace a little bit, but they're moving at a fast pace now. Smith again, and Jacoby Matthews, who plays both ways, both offensively and defensively, and is Hank Tierney's, he likes to call him one of his super sensation sophomores for the future, in on that tackle.
There you go. There's a good look again from the ground level for the inside zone. Watching Chris Smith hit that hole and get his pads north and south. And I love that inside zone stuff, because you really get to see the talent of the running back as he's pounding it up inside in between the tackles.
2nd down, 7. Give to Smith. He hesitates, finds the hole. It closes quickly, but he still fights his way close to the 20-yard line, short of the first down. Tyler Bailey made the stop.
Well, I tell you what, I'm impressed with this big Tyler Bailey, this freshman. Right, he gets off of blocks. He plays with a motor. Right there, he's in on that tackle. Had an earlier tackle a couple of plays back.
Well, we told you earlier, 7 sophomores start on offense, 2 freshmen, and 4 more sophomores start on the defense for Hank Tierney's Ponchatoula Green Wave. Flags down.
You got number 92 right there getting a little anxious. Wyke Bennett jumping off sides and getting in the neutral zone.
93.
a very young team outside of big T.J. Finley at quarterback, and there's a pretty good shot you'll see Jacoby Matthews playing that position next year after Finley graduates. Jalen Spears, some fresh legs at running back for the Crusaders, and he'll take the football right up the middle, breaks a few tackles. Look at Jalen Spears go, fights his way into the end zone, touchdown. What a run by Jalen Spears.
Inside zone this time to the left. They block back with the wing back coming across the motion, setting up the bootleg pass for later. Huge hole inside, pounded by the offensive line, and he walks untouched into the end zone. Here's a good look at it right there. Bang, great block by 44 on the backside in so he can't run down the down block. And watch number 1, Jalen Spears, just walk into the end zone for another 6 points. Great blocking up front by that offensive line of Brother Martin. Boy, am I impressed with those guys.
Point after by Jack Landry. And we've got a 21-3 ball game, and again, impressed with the running back, impressed with the offensive line, and a good look at Jalen Spears. I'm ready. Good look at Hank Tierney. He knows he's got a little work to do in this ball game, but look, he's got a couple of tricks up his sleeve, and he also knows he's building a team for the future, not only for this year, but for future play in district, which, as we talked about in the open of this broadcast, begins next week for both teams.
Well, Hank talked to me before the game, and we had a great conversation, rather frank conversation. He loves this sophomore and freshman group. So he sees himself around coaching these guys into the future, especially how much he loves number 2, Jacoby Matthews, because I told you before, he's going to be the quarterback here post T.J. Finley, because he's such an athlete. And don't be surprised if you don't see him going back to his old option game. That's just my thoughts. He didn't say that to me. That's just my thoughts, my gut feeling.
Well, you have a pretty good gut feel on many, many things, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Flag out of bounds.
It's going to be on a 35.
Referee Kevin Blaines.
Legal kick out of bounds. We'll take it on the 35-yard line. First down, Ponchatoula.
Here is tonight's Alumni Spotlight, looking back on great players in these programs' histories, brought to you by the NOLA Lending Group. Tyjae Spears didn't have to change school nicknames when he signed with Tulane out of Ponchatoula last year. He had a breakout game last Saturday night against Missouri State with an 88-yard touchdown reception, followed by a 52-yard touchdown run as Tulane posted its biggest win since 1998, defeating Missouri State 58-6. And I saw those two, and he just lit it up. It was something special, very special to watch. And on first down for Ponchatoula, they get rid of that ball quickly and move it to Dontrell Osby, who picks up a few.
Well, like you were saying, Ken, he didn't have to change his nickname, nor did he have to change his colors. I mean, that was nice. The motif was always already set in for him. You know?
Picked up a little sky blue to go along with some of the Ponchatoula green. That's
there you go.
Good pickup by Osby of 6, second down and 4. Finley, boy, he's got that good shot and throws a strike to his little brother Cody Finley, who has room. Inside the 30-yard line, Cody Finley with the reception and a big gainer for Ponchatoula, who needed something like that. Lambert brought him down.
Ken, the slant's been there all night. Look how he sets his feet, gets rid of it real quick. Look at the window he throws in. The linebacker overruns the window right there, and he throws it right behind him. That's a great throw and catch right there by Finley to Finley.
And Corey Lambert, the nickelback, made the stop. And there's a little bit of that option you like to see, a little pitch back. And Braden Johnson, so close. Adam Randolph made a touchdown-saving knockout.
Braden Johnson's speed is a little deceptive, all right? He gets out there off of the speed option. The pitch read is there, tosses it out there. Look at this guy galloping. You know, he's got a little deceptive speed to him.
Well, he was looking for his first rushing touchdown of the year. Almost got it. Ponchatoula proving they can move this football against a very good defense. First and goal at the 3. Oh, Finley on a keeper all by himself. He just lunges that big frame forward. He's into the end zone. Touchdown. And that's the first touchdown of the year scored against the Brother Martin defense.
That's quarterback keep all the way. He's going to disconnect, pull it out. You see the blocking back right there. They pull the backside guard tackle, lead them up into the hole for a little quarterback counter. And like I said, all he's got to do, Ken, is he's got to get up in that hole and fall forward. He's going to pick you up 3 yards. Watch him fall forward. Touchdown.
Now look, it's hard to stop him. Corey Lambert hit him, but when you've got that much weight and height moving, very, very hard to make a stop. Jack Lights for the point after, and it is up and good. So Ponchatoula stays within striking distance, trailing by 11. Looking for it, Hobie. Crescent City Sports thanks Hi-Ho Barbecue in Ponchatoula for their support of tonight's game. Hi-Ho has been serving their famous barbecue to Tangipahoa Parish and beyond since 1939. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Stop by 503 West Pine Street in Ponchatoula or call in your order at 985-370-7737. Again, you can call in the order 985-370-7737. If you haven't had barbecue from the Hi-Ho, you are missing something special.
Ken, I'm calling right now. Boy, does that look good.
When Jay Thomas was the coach at Nichols and then left and eventually went to Northwestern, he would call me if he thought I was going to North Louisiana and say, stop at Hi-Ho. Bring me some Hi-Ho barbecue to Natchitoches and bring a lot. I'll freeze it. That's how much he liked it on the other side. Short kick. And the Crusaders have a return. And that's Devon Moore. But once again, Brother Martin with good field position. So we'll have a hydration timeout and we'll take it with these teams as we just go under the 6-minute mark in the first half. Good look at this crowd in the swamp. Boy, they love to get behind their Ponchatoula Green Wave here, and the whole community comes out, and that's what you love about small towns like Ponchatoula, which isn't really that small of a town anymore, and they love this guy right here, Hank Tierney, and they know he's had a couple of tough years, but they also know he's got that super freshman sophomore class, and the next 2 years are going to be dynamite right up the middle. That big hole again opened up by the offensive line, and man, Jalen Spears just takes advantage of it, as he did right there.
Well, you know, Hank, again, we spoke all week and spoke before the ball game. You know, he struggled last year. The whole team struggled last year, 2-8. And sitting down with his staff in the offseason, the first thing he said is, we're going to find a way to get ourselves back into the positive sides of things, and we're going to have to ride the coattails of T.J. Finley to do it. And
Amahat's going to air it out off the fingertips of Joe Delaney. My goodness.
Joe Delaney got behind the defender right there, and the ball, again, taking a shot down the field. You got to take a shot. I like it, to be able to spread and stretch that defense a little bit, was just off the fingers of Joe Delaney. Look at this. Great pass, just off the fingertips right there. I like the concept. You got to try to stretch it vertically every now and then. Take that shot down the field.
Very nicely thrown pass by Garrett Mamahat, and Crusaders will just keep it on the ground with a rugby scrum. Over to the right side. And they're going to push hard. Helmet comes off of Tyler Bailey, or pardon me, there comes off of Lance Hilliard.
Yeah, the helmet comes off. He makes the tackle right there. He's got to come off the field for a play. That's rules of safety now in high school as well as college and in the pros.
You know, Chris Smith is usually the starting running back, and Jalen Spears comes in. But I tell you, the ability of Spears to hit that hole quickly and just slither through and find the opening has been something special to watch with this Brother Martin team. Mamahat on the run as Delaney. Delaney with a good move. Delaney looks for the end zone, and he's there. Touchdown, Brother Martin.
Great move by Delaney. Did you see the little jump cut right there? I tell you what, that was a great pass by Mamahat to be able to move out of his pocket. He got pushed off of his spot. He works himself to the left to buy himself time. Let's take a look at it. Looking right, up, feeling pressure. Let's get out of here real quick. Finds Delaney right over there. Watch this move. Whoosh! Right there, 46 right now.
It was the move.
Right, it's saying, what the heck happened? Darian Brider right there, kind of got his jock dropped because of the move.
And Landry, Jack Landry, converts the point after. 28-10, Brother Martin.
Gingivitis.
Plaque. Cavity. Tartar. Tooth decay.
Gum disease.
Abscess tooth.
What's that?
A feeling, not a frown.
A bridge?
You mean I need a root canal?
Come on, man.
The only thing worse than hearing those words is hearing that your dentist can't see you right away. Call Louisiana Dental Center. We'll see you today.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
Now they're drawing up plays for the offense. Good look at Garrett Mamahat.
Well, you know what they're looking at right there, Ken?
His progression as a quarterback is something we'll talk about as the game goes on.
Just to kind of let you know what they're looking at right there. They've got Wi-Fi now all over these stadiums, all right? So now what they can do is they can actually bring their tablets and their computers and their monitors all down on the sideline, just like they do in the NFL, and they can actually show the last play off of video to their players. Look, I tell you what, we didn't have that. I didn't have that in my last couple of years of coaching. We're drawing it on an old wet whiteboard. Okay, this is great technology. This is great that coaches are using this technology to teach their kids on the boundary in real time. That's real-time teaching.
Or they're watching CrescentCitySports.com or CST and watching the game that way. You know,
or they're ordering from Hi-Ho.
Ordering from Hi-Ho. The menu's tough, man. They got a lot of things to decide from back there. They're ordering from Hi-Ho #2 right here in Ponchatoula. You better believe it. Finley, so tall when he throws down, and that's what happened. Just couldn't find Osby. He just, that hand comes down, and he just finds the downward trajectory of the pass sometimes. He'll throw it too low and into the ground, and that's tough when you're 6'7", and a lot of your receivers are under 6 feet.
Adam Randolph right there for the Crusaders made a great hit from his free safety position too. Right, got right there as the ball was getting to that delivery point and broke the whole thing up. And you're right, it was kind of low. So the receiver really didn't have much shot at catching that football.
Hank Tierney knows this is one that they've got to move the chains on pretty soon. 2nd down, 10. Finley in trouble. He's just going to protect that football. He's caught and will go down in the hands of Noah Labe.
There's Noah Labe for a 2nd sack on the night. He's the sack leader for these Brother Martin Crusaders. He's got 3 sacks coming into this game. He's already got 2 on the night already. That's 5 total. He was last year's sack leader.
6.5 last year.
6.5. And he's well on his way to, getting that for the season.
4th sack tonight for the Crusader defense, and they're finding a way to make Finley uncomfortable in that pocket, and you can see that uncomfortability starting to wear thin a little bit on some of the players. But I think Finley's got to go back, and Ponchatoula's got to go back to just let him get rid of that ball quickly. He's got to dump it out there.
Get rid of the ball quickly and mix in those runs to Braden Johnson.
And there's one of those fast passes. He released it quickly into the hands of Demontrell Osby, and they get the catch but do not get the first down, and that's going to bring up 4th down. Joshua Payne Morgan with a touchdown, first down saving tackle there.
Right, here's that 3 and out that they've been priding themselves on all year, the Brother Martin defense. You can see, coming into the game, they had a ton of them in 2 games, and they've already had a handful tonight to be able to tack on to that goal of theirs as a defense.
Well, again, the very dangerous and speedy Devon Moore. He's standing back at about his 29-yard line as lights. Well, not punt it to him. He's going to punt it away from him. It'll go out of bounds, but Moore would have given you that much more on the return anyway. Tonight's game is presented by Ye Olde College Inn and Rockin' Bowl. College Inn is a true New Orleans farm-to-table restaurant, open Tuesday through Saturday for dinner, and the home of the New Orleans Prep Sports Hall of Fame. Really special to go in there, see the plaques that Ron Burkata has worked so hard on, and he's done such a great job with that New Orleans Sports Hall of Fame, and enjoy the food and enjoy the sports scenery and so much more at Ye Olde College Inn and Rockin' Bowl.
And then you can head right over after you get done eating, use that ticket, get into Rockin' Bowl, and listen to some great music.
Oh, man. Are you a bowler?
Am I a bowler? You can say I bowl at bowling.
Have you rolled as many 300 games as Lenny Van Gilder, our producer?
That's a negative.
Oh, nice toss by Mamahat and pulled in by Lewis.
I love the idea. Take that shot, stretch the defense, look at the right spot, get the right matchup in the coverage, and here we go. Take a look at the protection right here.
Yeah. Again, the offensive line given Mamahat, who took a hit after, but he had a lot of time. And he took the time and put it right where John Lewis could catch it and no one else.
John Lewis worked himself open right there. He had a step on the defender, and the ball was delivered right on time.
Chris Smith in the game, takes the handoff, gets a few more yards up the middle, and Brother Martin sometimes makes it look so easy. Jacoby Matthews finally making the stop, but it doesn't matter which fresh legs you put in. Chris Smith wearing number 20 there, and Jalen Spears, both of them are just so active, and both of them have the ability to cut, move, and find a hole. And you talk to them, they say, look, our offensive line opens up so many holes. We're embarrassed if we don't take advantage of it. We give credit to the offensive line, and we feel like we're not doing our part if we don't run through it like Chris Smith just did.
Well, that offensive line's physical. That's a trademark. Having coached in the Catholic League for as long as I did, one of the things I knew about Brother Martin's offensive line was they're going to come out and they're going to maul you. And that's a credit to that whole offensive staff there at Brother Martin. Those guys are maulers. They're going to come into the game and they're going to muscle up on you. They're going to run that inside zone scheme, and they take pride in it.
Well, almost a mess up on the handoff, but Mamahat and Smith managed to make sure that it's not a football on the ground. It doesn't go anywhere, but they don't turn it over either. Jacoby Matthews in to bust it up.
I've noticed already on the night they've had a couple of miscues on their snaps, kind of a little wide, a little high, a little low. Let's listen to the call here.
Offense, number 44, 10 yards from the spot. We'll replay it down.
They got Demarion White, the fullback or H-back, if you want to call him. See if we can see him in the picture with the hold. Coming right into your screen. Look at that, right across his chest. There's the takedown. I think in wrestling that's 2 points. But getting back to what I was saying, there was another little kind of glitch to the snap right there. It wasn't as clean as it should be. And this is about the third time I've seen that tonight from Brother Martin.
Mamahat steps into the pocket. Has a wide-open John Lewis. Flag is thrown. Lewis had to turn around, couldn't hold it. And let's see what the penalty is all about, way up near the line of scrimmage. But thrown late, thrown after the pass was released.
I think you're going to have a lineman downfield.
Yep, that's what it is.
That's going to be a loss of down. Ouch, that hurts. Oh my goodness, that ball would have been caught right there. It had been a touchdown and it had been called back. Wide open, John Lewis.
Yeah, Mamahat leads him correctly
the
there.
Downfield, number 97 on the offense. That penalty will be declined.
And you've got to decline it because you're looking at 1st and 24, so keep him back there at 2nd down and 24.
The only thing I can think about number 97 being downfield is he was lined up and he was ineligible by alignment. He was covered up, so he was an ineligible receiver, even though he had a receiver's number on. So that could have been also a mess-up by alignment by the Brother Martin offense. You can see the coaches are a little irritated right there, chewing a little tail.
Well, here's Mamahat under a big rush, and he'll just dump it off to Chris Smith, and Smith does the rest, gets a lot of that penalty yards back before being brought down by Wyke Bennett.
Ken, how many times tonight has Ponchatoula had Brother Martin in second in a decade?
Yeah, just now.
Right. In first quarter, they had him 3 or 4, which resulted in splash plays for and then for touchdowns.
Yeah, and instead of having 3rd down and long and 3rd down and maybe forever, now you're looking at 3rd and 6.
3rd down, 5 or 6, that's definitely manageable.
Yeah, without question. And that's exactly what Garrett Mamahat wants as he takes the snap. He'll throw it into the end zone, had a man, but pretty well covered, led him a little bit and couldn't catch up with John Lewis.
Great coverage out there by Elijah Winters, the sophomore defensive back, and John Lewis all wrapped up. Really no place to go to the ball. I think Mamahat did the right thing. I don't think he tried to fit that thing in there. I think he just kind of threw it away or tried to throw the receiver open. And he said, I'm either going to get this by him running to the ball or we'll just come out and kick the 3. I think that's a great decision by the sophomore Mamahat.
Again, that's all part of his progression as a quarterback. He has just grown so much since the 5 games he started as a freshman last year. Jack Landry with a 27-yard field goal attempt. Good leg, gets it high up into the air, and it is good. So Landry gives the Crusaders a 31-10 lead. 1:02 to play in the first half.
1:02 remaining.
Join Cox Sports Television this Sunday for your New Orleans Saints pregame and postgame coverage. Tune in as we kick off our pregame coverage with the Saints game day, live at 10:30 a.m. and then at 10:30 p.m. it's Saints Tonight as Victor Howell, Scott Shanley, and Mike Neighbors break down the game with Deuce McAllister in an exclusive one-on-one interview with Drew Brees. Oh, man, everybody just hoping for the best for Drew Brees.
Look,
and the thumb.
Yeah, well, look.
Thumbs up, Drew.
I've seen that 1,000 times. I saw when he hit the hand, I turned to my wife and I said, that's 6 weeks right there.
Yeah.
I know when and then he came over and they showed him that obviously he couldn't pick the football up. I either said it's a ligament tear because I've seen it before, or he's got a break somewhere down where the knuckle is under the thumb.
That coach you saw right there, Mark Bonis, has produced a few NFL players, has 3 Crusaders in the NFL right now. Show it to you in just a moment. Can you guess?
Yes, I can. One of them is right here in New Orleans.
Oh, well, Ponchatoula just having trouble picking it up. And it's that kind of day for the Green Wave. Amorian Walker, good returner, couldn't get a beat on it. And there's your Brother Martin Crusaders, who are in the National Football League. Will Clapp with the New Orleans Saints. LSU, Irv Smith, Ben. He did so much at Alabama. My goodness. Son of Irv Smith Jr. with the Vikings as a tight end. Rod Teamer, man from Brother Martin. And again, he said that. But had a great career at Tulane and made that final roster cut for the Los Angeles Chargers.
You know, Ken, look how impressive that is. Only 17 high schools nationally have 4 or more. So what does that say for the Brother Martin football program? Which, you know,
says that guy right there is doing
correct.
one heck of a job. Mark Bonice is what it says, developing players with his coaching staff.
Correct. And I had the fortune of being able to coach there at one time, and it's the whole Brother Martin athletic program that is so good from that standpoint, from top down. And Mark Bonice does a great job with his guys, and they're prepared every week. And it just shows where they end up in college as well as in the NFL.
Jacoby Matthews on a first down catch. Adam Randolph with the stop, and they're not stopping the clock, so they've got to move very quickly, and the incomplete pass will stop the clock, intended for Logan Johnston.
Ball just wasn't placed right there. It was below his knees. But in that type of situation, Logan Johnson's got to be able to pick that up off of his shins and try to get some positive yardage out of it. And also, TJ's got to do a better job putting the ball right between his numbers on a wide open receiver.
Another guy right there that's put a lot of players into college football at the Power 5 conferences and has had some guys play on Sunday and coach on Sunday and assistant coach and recruit and coach well at the college level, collegiate level, almost all divisions, and it's just something special to watch Hank Tierney and his team play. Again, TJ Finley being snuffed down by that defense, working against the clock, 32 seconds, and timeout called by Ponchatoula.
Kai Brown right there got off the block and collapsed the pocket on TJ Finley just to bring down for another Brother Martin sack. You know, they're moving him off his spot, they're getting him off his spot, and they're coming up with sacks as well as coverage sacks.
You talk about Hank Tierney with everybody he's produced. He's done that with wins, and he is the all-time 4th winningest active coach in Louisiana. Look at this, 33 seasons, won 276 games. Look who's chasing him, Frank Monica, having a pretty good year at St. Charles Catholic with 268, 8 wins behind him. But if Tierney has a pretty good season this year in district and has all these freshmen and sophomores maturing and coming to fruition over the next 2 years, he's going to be hard to beat. He may be putting a couple of 10s in that win column over the next 2 seasons easily.
Well, it's safe to say, Ken. I think it's safe to say, and I'll go out on a limb. I see him in the Hall of Fame one day here in the state of Louisiana, and he so rightfully deserves to be.
Yes.
If I had a vote on that thing, I'd vote for him.
Well, Brother Martin wants to call a timeout, and they don't want anything to get past them. They know that coach right there has got some tricks up his sleeve, and he's got a quarterback who can heave the ball 75 yards with the flick of his wrist in the air.
Well, they're going to take the timeout also because they might have a shot at getting the ball back, and they're going to take a shot. So it's a well-placed timeout by Brother Martin.
Big thing for Ponchatoula on 3rd down is make sure you get the first down. You've got enough time with 32 seconds to keep playing. You've got enough time to run enough plays to get you down there, at least in field goal position, but possibly get the score again with the strength of TJ Finley's arm. Well, make sure you get the first down. This is 3rd down and 10.
Right. They've got to get the sticks right here. They've got 2 timeouts. They don't really need to panic after they get the first down. They can continue with the short passing game, use the 2 timeouts when they want to, and like you said, possibly set up a field goal situation.
They don't get the first down. Crusaders also have 2 timeouts if they want to stop the clock for another shot. Too far, intended way down there for DeMontrell Osby. Overthrew him. That'll stop the clock and bring up 4th down 10.
They're going to have to punt the ball here. I mean, they don't want to give the ball up right here in this situation to a Brother Martin offense. I got to think Hank's got to punt the ball.
27 seconds, even if TJ Finley can hum it the length of the field, if you don't catch it, it's incomplete, and Brother Martin's got a great field position, but hold everything.
Well, we didn't see
I didn't
the
see
flag
that
from
flag.
We didn't see the flag from up there. I think we've got a roughing the passing penalty on Brother Martin, so that's going to be an automatic first down because it was a personal foul, number one, dead ball. So they're going to move the ball 15 yards from the previous spot, and then they're going to tack on the first down right there. So Brother Martin creates a huge error right there by hitting T.J. Finley a little bit late. T.J. Finley is holding his throwing hand there. Let's hope everything's okay with it.
And let's keep an eye on that, especially as they come out of the locker room for the second half. But we still have 27 seconds to play. First half, T.J. Finley, and he fakes the throw, gets away, escapes. And that one got away from him, just wobbled out of his hands. It is picked off. Adam Randolph on the return. Adam Randolph gives Brother Martin some pretty good field position near the 45-yard line of Ponchatoula, and 10 seconds to play with.
The ball is a little wobbly coming out of T.J. Finley's hand. Ken, I don't know if it's as a result because he was holding it on the play before when he got hit on the personal foul roughing the quarterback. Let's see it come out of his hand here. Let's see what he does here. Great shot from our camera crew on the end zone shot.
There's the fake. Now he's going to run. He's not.
Right. He's pushed off of his spot. And he just kind of lobs it out there. Well, his hand looked fine. I just don't think it was a very good throw. He was using all of his upper body strength, and that was all an arm throw just to lob it down there in the center of the field. Adam Randolph comes up with a big pick.
Yeah.
I didn't see much wrong with that. We'll keep an eye on that, as he, like you said, as he comes out into the second half.
Well, the INT gives Brother Martin a shot. 10.9 seconds. Mamahat in trouble. Delayed blitz, and they got him. Delayed blitz by Tyler Bailey comes in hard and sacks Mamahat.
We've called that freshman's name a few times tonight. I'm impressed with Tyler Bailey.
Yeah.
6'2", 260, and I bet you he could eat the groceries at home. Look at the size of that young man, and he's only going to get bigger.
Well, that brings us to halftime, and at halftime, Brother Martin cruising right now 31-10, and Ponchatoula's got a little bit of work to do. Mark Bonice has to be happy with his team's performance and not happy with some of the penalties and missed opportunities. But we've had some good action. Brother Martin's defense gave up some points, but their offense has put a lot on the board.
Lincoln is now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's state of the art. You're gonna love walking into the Lincoln store. 8 years here in New Orleans, you couldn't even buy one? LL, Lamarck Lincoln is back.
Louisiana Dental Center, your dental home team.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
Since 1935, the Allstate Sugar Bowl has stood tall as a New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Throughout the years, the game changed, the venue changed, the teams changed, but the tradition remains. New Year's Day in the Dome, the 2020 Allstate Sugar Bowl. Tickets on sale now before kickoff party at the Allstate Fan Jam in Champion Square. For everything Sugar Bowl, go to allstatesugarbowl.org today. The 2020 Allstate Sugar Bowl.
Lamarck Lincoln is now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's state of the art. You're gonna love walking into the Lincoln store. 8 years here in New Orleans, you couldn't even buy one? LL, Lamarck Lincoln is back.
Out there having fun at the Swamp on both sides of the field. Brother Martin's fans are a little happier, though, because their Crusaders lead 31-10. It's week 3 of the high school football season across Louisiana. With a closer look, here is Crescent City Sports' Jude Young.
Let's take a look around Louisiana high school football as week 3 of the regular season is in full swing this evening. In the Crescent City Sports Class 5A Top 10, John Curtis Christian remains atop the rankings after an impressive 55-27 win over Westlake of Atlanta, Georgia at the Battle on the Border last Saturday in Shreveport. Curtis is up to number 12 in the latest top 25 national rankings from USA Today. 3 of the top 4 slots are again occupied by select schools, with Catholic of Baton Rouge at number 2 and Archbishop Rummel at number 4. Many of the early contenders on the non-select side in Class 5A are from North and Central Louisiana, with West Monroe, Houghton, Alexandria Senior High, and Airline all in this week's top 10. The best game of the week in Louisiana is not on Friday this week, but on Saturday night. In Class 4A, top-ranked Edna Carr and number 2 Warren Easton face off at Pan American Stadium in New Orleans. It's a rematch of last year's championship game, won by the Cougars 28-20. The one-time district rivals are now in separate districts, so we get to see an early peek at what could well be the first of 2 meetings between the Louisiana schools in 2019. But teams like Neville, Bastrop, and Lakeshore may try to break up that potential championship rematch. In Class 3A, the St. James Wildcats are off to an impressive start and moved into the top spot of the Crescent City Sports rankings this week after the previous number 1, University High, suffered its first loss since 2016 last week against Neville. St. James has early wins over West St. John and East St. John. Sterlington, Iota, and Kaplan check in at numbers 2 through 4, while U-High dropped to 5th, and De La Salle bounced back from its loss to Warren Easton with an impressive road victory over Country Day. In Class 2A, the top 5 spots in the rankings are all select schools, with defending Division III champion Notre Dame leading the pack, followed by 2-time Division IV champ Lafayette Christian, St. Charles Catholic, Newman, and Dunham. St. Charles Catholic had an impressive victory over Lutcher last Friday and has a tough test tonight with De La Salle. And don't forget, next Friday here on CST and Crescent City Sports, it's Newman against Country Day, live from Tulane's Yulman Stadium. In 1A, there's also a new number 1, with Ascension Catholic moving up to the top spot after Southern Labs lost last week. Ascension Catholic has been to the Division IV finals each of the last 2 years, but they won't have to contend with Lafayette Christian this year after the Knights moved up a classification. Calvary Baptist and Opelousas Catholic are 2nd and 3rd, followed by Oak Grove and Southern Lab. To get all the latest scores from around the state, remember to go to our up-to-the-minute prep scoreboard at CrescentCitySports.com, presented all season by the Allstate Sugar Bowl. For the Crescent City Sports Louisiana Prep Football Report, I'm Jude Young. Ken and Wade are back with more of our halftime from Ponchatoula right after this.
Halftime at the Swamp here in Ponchatoula. Brother Martin with the lead, 31-10. It's been a cruise for Brother Martin. Ponchatoula's threatened a couple of times, but the Crusaders have kept the distance between them and the Green Wave. Here's a look at scores from around the state. Get the most complete and up-to-date Louisiana prep football scoreboard anywhere at CrescentCitySports.com. Presented by the Allstate Sugar Bowl. And Wade, we take a look at some of these, and right off the bat, Acadiana leading Lafayette Christian in the third quarter.
Right, Lafayette Christian has the longest winning streak in the state of Louisiana, believe it or not. All right, and Acadiana right there up 7-6 on them. I really like that, looking at that Destrehan-St. Paul score in the second quarter. You know, talking to Steve Robichaux this week about St. Paul's and how he felt he was going to have to attack them. He was going to have to be able to get his athletes into open space against the physical St. Paul's defense. Apparently he is doing that. That Ruston Airlines score from last night on Thursday night was a big one up in Shreveport that you heard on Crescent City Sports with Kenny Trahan. Looks like that Ruston is back on track now, especially after all the hardship they went through last year with the tornado and all of the things around the Ruston area.
Yeah, Ruston, again, might have been one of the best
right.
0-2 teams that just couldn't find a way to win, and they did now.
They did now, absolutely. And then that's always a tough game. 17-13 Catholic of Baton Rouge, University High up in Baton Rouge tonight.
More scores on the Crescent City Sports scoreboard. Oak Grove and Singleton, no score second quarter.
Look, well, that's a big one. But I tell you what, look at that Oak Grove, Mississippi, and Rummel score. Rummel are the road warriors. They've been on the road for the past 3 weeks.
Now they went to North Carolina.
Correct.
Tonight they're in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, playing Oak Grove.
Right, and right, they finally get home to play Ruston next week at home. But this Oak Grove team from Mississippi, I think, won the 6A state championship in Mississippi last year. They're a fine football team.
But that tells you how good Rummel is this year under Nicky Monica in his first year.
Absolutely. And Nicky Monica does a great job coaching, and he relates well to his kids. What a great football coach head football coach he will be. Look at that anticipation for tomorrow night at 7 p.m. One of the biggest games in the state this weekend, Warren Easton and Carr. We got the chance to see Warren Easton a couple of weeks ago.
It's the rematch of the state championship game from last year, and Warren Easton was hungry, hadn't won a state championship since World War II, 1942 to be exact, and they had Carr on the ropes, and Carr comes back with a great second half, and the defense steps up, stops Easton. Carr makes the big play. They win it 28-20 in the Superdome, and now you've got Jerry Phillips reminding his team of that. Warren Easton coming off an open week. They were supposed to play St. Aug in week number 2, and something went wrong with the scheduling, so that game didn't happen. So Warren Easton plays that first game against De La Salle and had a very impressive performance in beating De La Salle, and then they rested. They've got everybody kind of set, and now they come back against Carr. And would you like to have an open week? Is it good or bad in high school football to have that long open week this early in the season after you play just one game?
I didn't like open weeks at any time. My open weeks always kind of fell late, and where you're banged up and everything else. And they said, well, you got a chance to get healthy, but you also have a chance to get rusty. So I kind of went on the premise that I didn't like open weeks because I didn't want to get rusty. I always wanted to stay on track. I wanted to stay in rhythm. I wanted to stay in tune, and part of that was playing every Friday or Saturday night.
I think what's interesting is whether Ashad Clayton, and he's going through a name change, it might be Ashad Johnson now, I haven't kept up with that, but if the legality of it is complete. But Ashad was not in full shape in that De La Salle game, so he played sparingly as he continued to get in shape. He got cleared, and it's going to be interesting to see how he performs against Carr. Before we head to break, let's listen to a little bit of the Ponchatoula Green Wave Marching Band.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
Since 1935, the Allstate Sugar Bowl has stood tall as a New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Throughout the years, the game changed, the venue changed, the teams changed, but the tradition remains. New Year's Day in the Dome, the 2020 Allstate Sugar Bowl. Tickets on sale now before kickoff party at the Allstate Fan Jam in Champion Square. For everything Sugar Bowl, go to allstatesugarbowl.org today. The 2020 Allstate Sugar Bowl.
Tell me about it. The kids need braces, I need a root canal, and Dad's old dentures are broken. That means 3 dental appointments all across town.
Bobby Abear?
Mom, you need to call Louisiana Dental Center. They see kids and adults and have specialists at every location. They even have Friday and Saturday appointments.
That's great. I'll call him now. But who's going to do the dishes?
Yeah, I know me and my big mouth.
For more than half a century, Gills Bar has offered services, solutions, and support for businesses and associations looking for happier constituents and healthier bottom lines. To learn more on how Gills Bar can help your business, visit gillsbar.com.
Your home for the best in coverage of pro, college, and prep sports in the New Orleans area is CrescentCitySports.com. Whether it's news, opinions, live video webcasts of high school sports, or Louisiana's best prep football scoreboard, you can get it all at Crescent City Sports. The name may be new, but it's the same great coverage you've gotten for years from our team of New Orleans natives. Click it now and like us on social media at CrescentCitySports.com.
Back at halftime at the Swamp here in Ponchatoula, 31-10. Brother Martin is leading Ponchatoula. Ken Berthelot along with Wade Kaiser. And before this game started, we were talking about whether or not Ponchatoula's offense could move against a very, very good Brother Martin defense. They did, but only a few times and only on one big drive. And they just couldn't put it together for the whole first half.
Well, that's the key, consistency. They haven't been consistent all night. They can move the ball. We've seen that. They've scored some points. But every time they end up moving the ball, something ends up taking place. There is a turnover, they get sacked, and Brother Martin's getting a 3 and out. That's the problem right now tonight for TJ Finley and the offense is consistency.
And let's take a look. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, and this is some of the first half highlights, and we're going to see them right here. TJ Finley gets moving, and an interception right off the bat, and that was just well played by the defense.
It sets up the Smith touchdown on a 5-yard run right there on the inside zone play for a great touchdown by Brother Martin.
Followed up by the John Lewis touchdown. And then Jalen Spears gets in on the action for the 3rd touchdown. It's 21-3 at this standpoint.
You get finally Ponchatoula gets on the board. TJ Finley on a quarterback run there.
Just stretched his body out, but man, these guys come right back. Spears again on the run. Delaney with that 37-yard touchdown pass. And then you're watching live right now the Ponchatoula Green Wave stretching as they are out of the locker room getting set for the second half. Crusaders on the other side of the field. It was an explosive first half, but I really think that you hit the nail on the head with consistency because Ponchatoula proved they could move the ball with short, quick passes when Finley was releasing that ball quickly and finding a receiver, but he just doesn't have time to get people down the field and use that arm strength because the Brother Martin defensive line has just put, and linebacker has been putting too much pressure on him.
Well, Hank Tierney told his guys right now at halftime that they're going to go back to the short passing game. I wouldn't be much surprised if that short passing game is what we're going to see coming out of the locker room from Ponchatoula. So that way they can get TJ Finley a little bit more consistency and they can start, moving the ball without having some sort of mistakes. And plus, he doesn't get knocked off of his spot when he's throwing the ball, catch and throw.
All right, we'll take a break and be back with the start of the second half right after this at the Swamp in Ponchatoula. Brother Martin with the lead, Ponchatoula with a lot of work to do.
That's ours.
Okay, I got you. Card 8, then card 15. I got it.
All right. Run the ball. Get out of here.
Gotcha. 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 High school football from Crescent City Sports on Cox Sports Television is brought to you by the Allstate Sugar Bowl, sponsor of all LHSAA championship events, and by the all-new Lamarck Lincoln, now open in Kenner. Getting ready for the start of the second half. Brother Martin leading Ponchatoula 31-10. Next week on CST and Crescent City Sports, it's a rivalry matchup from Tulane's Yeoman Stadium where the Newman Greenies face the Country Day Cajuns. Catch Newman and Country Day next Friday at 7 on CST and CrescentCitySports.com. Boy, when Newman and Country Day get together, Wade, it's always a battle supreme. I'm looking forward to that game next week. We see Arch Manning. We get to see Justin Ibieta. And Newman bolted to a pair of 21-point leads behind the big plays of quarterback Martin Butcher, who passed for 4 touchdowns on the night. Murray Calhoun, 74-yard catch and run, made it 28-7 in the third quarter. But Country Day rallied. 17-point deficit in the final 6.5 minutes. Justin Ibieta hit St. Hilaire on a 9-yard touchdown pass to make it 31-21. That's coming up. Watch this one. Ibieta so cool in the pocket. And that was the touchdown pass to Hilaire. On 4th and 10, Ibieta saved the drive with an impromptu chest pass. Watch him in trouble. Just chests it out to Ross Talbot for a first down. Then moments later, he found Christian Becknell from 32 yards out to make it 31-28. Becknell in traffic. All of that with 2 minutes left. After a stop, the Cajuns quickly went back down the field. Ibieta connected with Becknell to the 1. Then he keeps it himself on the sneak to give Country Day the lead. Becknell intercepted Butcher's Hail Mary pass on the final play to close out a remarkable comeback. How about that for Country Day? And of course, that was Martin Butcher last year. There's a different quarterback that'll be throwing for Newman next week. His name is Manning.
Well, we got to see him last week.
Yes, you did.
When I was with Stream watching Bonneville and Newman, and I tell you what, he's got it. He's got it.
He's got the Manning touch.
He's got it. And
he really does.
He's going to have a great future, and he's going to be the next big name in quarterbacks, I believe, coming out of the New Orleans area in 4 years.
Mark Bonise has his team fired up. He doesn't want them to lose their edge, leading 31-10. Hank Tierney knows his guys have to find a way to get the ball back because Brother Martin won the toss deferred, so they get the ball to start this second half. And it's gone to Delaney. Nowhere to go, and inspired special teams play by Ponchatoula. Let's see if they can carry over to this Ponchatoula defense, which has struggled, as most teams have, with stopping Brother Martin when it counted.
Well, they've had Brother Martin in the first half and how many second and longs? I can count at least 4 right off the top of my head, okay? Brother Martin converts. They've got to get off the field, especially when it is a second or third and long. They've got to get off the field, get the defense rested on the sidelines, and they've got to get some consistency going on offense. And I know Hank Tierney at halftime addressed that with his guys, and we'll see how it turns out here in the second half.
You saw the big Tyler Bailey, number 99, breathing hard, but he's going to have to put some pressure on Garrett Mamahat along with the other people in that defensive line. Mamahat's going to chunk it long, and it's almost picked off. Oh, my goodness. Elijah Winters had it, couldn't hold it.
Great coverage out there by Elijah Winters. He's running step for step with the Brother Martin receiver right in the hip pocket. He's right in phase with, that's what you call in phase. Watch, we'll be able to see it right here. He is in phase right there with the Brother Martin receiver. Ball a little bit underthrown, should have had the pick.
So they'll go back to the ground game with Jalen Spears. And Spears will move the... Well, he's got him coming out of the backfield that time before Gabriel Timrick makes the stop. But it moves the chains, and Brother Martin gets that first down. So once again, holding him back there with when they can pick up 10 yards or more a shot, it's just putting pressure on your defense.
Well, Brother Martin's got everything on their call sheet wide open.
This time Spears on the ground, and look at that. Puts his head down, bumps somebody out of the way, and he's very close to another first down. Probably has it. Gerald Cotoni with the tackle, but that's back-to-back plays, back-to-back first downs.
Watch the counter play right here. Watch him duck his shoulder and run over the Ponchatoula defender. Zap right there.
Yeah, put it right to Gerald Cotoni on that one. 1st and 10. All the way out to the 42-yard line. This time to fake the Spears, and he'll just air it out. Running under it with the interception, Elijah Winters.
Well,
Elijah Winters has been wanting that one. He finally got it.
He finally got it on this series. He got it. Very poorly thrown ball by Mamhat. He had the receiver wide open. And John Lewis was wide open, and he just completely overthrows the ball. Airmails it out, and Elijah Winters gets big pick, big turnover for Ponchatoula tonight, right there. All he had to do was throw the back shoulder, a little bit more on the line. He hits the receiver in stride, but it's not to be.
Well, that'll be a lift of spirits for this Ponchatoula defense because they needed something big to happen. They needed their big play, and they got it. So now 1st and 10 from their own 20, and screen pass just, wow, thrown a little tough, but that's still catchable, and Braden Johnson's got to grab that. Again, you've got that big, tall T.J. Finley at 6'7". He throws everything sometimes a little hard coming down.
Yeah.
And
it hits you in the frame of your body. You got to catch the ball. I don't care if it's coming from a jugs machine. You got to catch the football.
I was trying to help Braden.
I got you. I'm sorry. And my problem is I'm too blunt. All right, that's my problem. You just got to catch the ball. That's the name of the game.
2nd down, 10. And we've got.
I think we're going to get Ponchatoula for a little illegal procedure here.
Dead ball, full start, offense, number 65, 5-yard penalty.
Our officials are from the Hammond Association. The referee is Kevin Blaze, and one thing Ponchatoula cannot afford to do is create mistakes, create tougher situations for itself by mistakes, by penalties, by turnovers against the good Brother Martin defensive team.
Well, they caught right there, number 65, flinching a little bit. That was Brett Fletcher, a senior offensive lineman, got to try to get a step quick off the offensive line right there, and they got him.
Finley with a good look. He's getting that same look often And he's getting rid of that ball a little more quickly. Intended for DeMontrell Osby. But that brings up 3rd down 15, and now you're going up against a team that's going to put a crazy rush on you on 3rd down and long, and TJ may have to move a little bit. TJ Finley may have to move a little bit and create some space for himself.
You know, we said one of the keys for Ponchatoula offense early this evening in the first quarter when we were talking about the keys of the game was get the ball into your athletes' hands in space, and they've done that very sparingly.
The person they haven't used is Jacoby Matthews. Look, that's the athlete. And he's a good receiver. He can also play running back. He's a backup quarterback. And they just haven't used him. Watch number 2. They've got to get the ball in Matthews' hands. And that's going to be delay of game. Just didn't get the snap off in time, and it's going to cost him another 5.
Dead ball, delay of game. Offense, number 1, 5 yards. Replay to down, 3rd down.
They're going in the wrong direction, a little bit out of sync here. Now, new 40-second clock. There's really no reason that you should not be able to get your play in and get it off in time with 40 seconds left on the clock. It'll only go to 25 seconds when there's an administrative stop of the play, like right there, a penalty. Then the clock will go to a 25-second clock.
Well, they're down to 10, and Finley's still barking out signals. And they're down to 5. He's got to get this ball in his hands quickly. He does. And that play will go nowhere as the Brother Martin defense was looking for anything on the ground. So Braden Johnson can go nowhere, and that'll bring up a punting situation for this Ponchatoula Green Wave offense.
Braden Johnson right there is coming off like he's got a little limp in his step. I don't know if he rolled his ankle a little bit or somebody fell on his leg.
He's the starting running back, leading rusher. Some good hands out of the backfield.
Ponchatoula just couldn't get any consistency going that time, and they were going in the wrong direction after the false start penalty.
So Jake Light's punt, rather. Downed, and Brother Martin will have great field position on Ponchatoula's side of the 50. So the Ponchatoula defense will have to create a turnover and make something happen, and these guys have been on the field a little longer than they probably wanted to here to start this half.
Well, you know, that's one of the keys I said earlier in the year, or early in the game, that Hank Tierney had to change for this year's edition of the Ponchatoula Green Wave defense. You know, they had to not be on the field as long, so they had to get some support from their offense.
Well, they'll just run Chris Smith straight ahead. And right now, that might be exactly what Brother Martin wants to do. Just run some clock. They don't need a lot. They've got a comfortable lead and just wear down the linebackers and the defensive backs like Gerald Cotoni, who made the stop on Smith on that play. But, boy, Smith is just a workhorse.
They're going to pound the inside zone. That's their bread and butter. That's like what they like to maul you with. And the counter play, which is what we're seeing right there.
Smith again, this time the hole closes. And Smith is one of those runners who, again, as we said in the first half, has complimented his offensive line on the holes that they open for he and Jalen Spears as running backs. And both runners feel like if they don't take advantage of what the offensive line's doing, they let the team down.
They have a hard time blocking Tyler Bailey. I like this guy for Ponchatoula. This guy is physical for being a freshman. He's probably 13 or 14 years old at 6'2", 260 pounds. And Ken, I bet you that Mama can't get enough food on that table when he comes to dinner. All right. I bet that youngster can pack it away. All right, that's big number 99. That guy has made some plays tonight already for that Ponchatoula defense.
And again,
there he is.
One of 2 freshmen and 4 sophomores that start on the defense. And with that penalty, it's going to make it 3rd down in inches now. Flag on the play. Once again, you just can't.
Yeah, that penalty we didn't see it on the ground, so they moved the ball 5 yards and set up a first down for Brother Martin.
Spears picking a spot, has a lot of open space, then makes a nice move into the end zone. Jalen Spears, touchdown from 28 yards out.
Great cut right there on the sweep. He gets into the secondary and then makes a nice little cut on the free safety to walk into the end zone. He's got a nice burst of speed. You know, he comes into the night with 20 attempts, 137 yards, and 1 catch for a 70-yard touchdown pass. Take a look at this. There it is. Oh, it's trying to run the inside zone there, and he just bounces it to the outside. Look at him in the secondary now.
Well, look at just the open real estate in front of him, and then he had to make one nice cut, and he did. And the extra point is up and good. 38-10. Brother Martin with the lead. Back with Ponchatoula and the ball.
Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
For more than half a century, Gills Bar has offered services, solutions, and support for businesses and associations looking for happier constituents and healthier bottom lines. To learn more on how Gills Bar can help your business, visit gillsbar.com.
Jack Landry gets set to kick off for the Crusaders, who are well in control. 38-10 at the Swamp here in Ponchatoula. Good strong leg, and he's put all but one. Well, he's put them all into the end zone.
He's put all
but one. All of them have gone almost
out the
back of the end zone, and he put one in the end zone.
I was watching him kick 50-yard field goals during warm-ups. He's got a great leg.
Yeah, senior. So Ponchatoula and TJ Finley have a lot of work to do.
Well, they got to chip away a little at a time. Just let's go back, play like it's 0-0. Let's chip away on this Brother Martin defense, and let's try to, every drive, come away with some sort of points. Whether it's a field goal or whether it's 6, let's come away with something and just keep chipping away at the marble.
And maybe try that quick release, short passes, move 5, 8, 9 yards at a time, just like that. Go to the sidelines.
Tell you what, you saw
almost 20 on that one, and that goes to his little brother Cody Finley.
You saw the strength of his arm right there, throwing the deep out to his brother Cody right there. I mean, he put that on a rope. Hank Tierney says he can make every throw in the book. I've seen him do that in warm-ups. He has a cannon for an arm. He's just got to be able to get the support surrounding him that he's going to need to also be successful.
Jonathan Gonzalez also just checked into the game. He just lost the ball.
Came out of his hand.
Came out of his hands. It's that kind of night for TJ Finley and the Green Wave offense.
He's trying to scramble out of there. He gets pressure on him by Labe. Labe puts pressure on him, makes him get off of his spot, and watch the ball come out of his hand. He goes to change to throw, and he just misses his hand, and it just pops right up onto the ground. They're lucky they retained that ball.
Well, when you're having one of those nights, sometimes you're just having one of those nights. There's no other way to describe it. But let's see if Finley can shake it off. He's got the talent. He's got the arm. And if he can find open receivers like that, good things will happen. Amorian Walker fumbled it. It's loose. Scramble. Brother Martin picks it up. They've got it. They're returning. Adam Randolph.
Again, a great slant pass right there. Hits him right on the quick slant. Great pass, great catch. He's advancing down the field. What happens? Let's see what happens. Let's see if he just tries to change hands with the ball.
He's got it tucked well away in the right hand.
Oh, it's stripped out of there. Great
just
job.
Just a great stripped out by
Devon
Moore.
Stripped out and scooped by Adam Randolph.
There it is. That's playing defense and making something happen for your offense.
They've been doing that all year, Ken. I mean, they've been making big plays and getting turnovers all year. That's the reason why they're one of the stingiest defenses in the New Orleans area.
How they gave up a few points tonight to a very good quarterback. And here comes Chris Smith. Smith all the way to the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, 25-yard run. And the Crusaders have opened it up here at the Swamp in Ponchatoula.
Chris Smith runs the inside zone, which they love to pound, and he just sticks it right up in there, finds a crease, and all of a sudden with his speed, he bursts into the secondary. When you're running free in the secondary with that type of speed, boy, that's hard to stop. He takes it in for another Brother Martin score. Great look right there from the end zone shot. I love that end zone shot of the kicking formation of Brother Martin right there. See Jack Landry to put another and tack another point on to that score.
Card 14 with red. You don't need to hit. Go to red first with card 14. No. Go with card 14.
30 years ago this month, Kevin Mamahat got the call to the Major League. That's Garrett Mamahat's dad. His big league debut came not only on the Saturday game of the week, but against the soon-to-be world champion Oakland A's. Entering the game in relief, the first batter he faced was slugger Mark McGuire. Mamahat got McGuire on that called third strike three and eventually worked out of a jam for a memory that will last a lifetime. Watch it again.
Whoa, he puts the heat right on the inside corner and freezes him. Huh?
He put the heat on him there, and wow. And Kevin sitting on the other side watching his son Garrett. And has played an instrumental role along with the coaches in Garrett's development as a quarterback. We'll talk about that when Garrett comes back out on the field.
I'll tell you what I liked right there. I like that mullet he was sporting back there, back at that time in history. Puts it into the end zone again.
Yeah, another one into the end zone, and another start from the 20-yard line for T.J. Finley. Now, if you're coaching Ponchatoula, you're Hank Tierney here. You're way behind. It's 45-10. You're still in the third quarter with more than half the quarter to go. What are you telling your offense? What do you want to get them to do? Because remember, no matter what happens tonight, district play starts next week.
We're 0-0. Let's chip away. Let's get something on the board. Let's run our offense. Let's not worry about the score. Let's try to do something positive here, make something happen, and let's just try to chip away at the rock. That's exactly what I tell them.
And let's see if that's exactly what they do. Quick release. And there he goes to Osby. Little redemption, holding on to the ball. This time not letting it get stripped. DeMontrell Osby.
They run the little quick screen out there. You can see how he's going to have two blockers in front of him. And look at the hits he's going to take right here for his physical Brother Martin defense. Whack, whack. Here comes another one, cleaning it up.
Yeah, but the guy who holds on and brings him down is Noah Sacheret. His dad, Garrett Sacheret, played at Tulane. He's been an assistant coach at a number of places. Currently at Western Kentucky, a Hilltopper.
He was also a Brother Martin linebacker at one time.
Exactly. And chatted with him briefly. He was switching planes on a recruiting trip as that pass is completed to Jonathan Gonzalez, seeing his first action of the night off the bench for the Ponchatoula Green Wave. But so proud of the way his son is performing and following his footsteps at Brother Martin. T.J. Finley moving. You know, TJ's got that commit to LSU. He's all excited. And when he made the commitment, LSU was running an offense that was set for a Jamarcus Russell style quarterback and a drop-back passer. The way he moves, he may have trouble fitting in at the quarterback slot at LSU when in this Brady offense. What do you think?
Well, just as in everything, offensive coordinators, they recruit for
we got
what
a
they're
hydration
doing.
break. So let's take the hydration break. We'll come back with this thought when we return. Brother Martin with the lead. Hydration break time.
Used car superstore. When you walk in it, you're going to say, wow. For your lifestyle and budget in mind. It's not Wall Street money. It's Mealy Street money from Arabi, Louisiana, where I grew up as a kid. Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignment, struts, servicing your transmission, and we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. You're going to love the experience.
For 50 years, Brother Martin High School has formed young men through a holistic education of academic excellence in a caring, disciplined community, which integrates Catholic tradition and the tradition of the Brothers of the Sacred Heart to meet the needs of a changing world. Come learn more about our community of thousands of alumni and students who have been taught not only how to make a living, but how to make a life.
Join us for our open house, Thursday, November 7th at 5 p.m. Brother Martin High School, educating young men for life.
Mark Bonice. Well, he has done such a great job. You know, got away from Brother Martin for about 3 days, thinking he might want to try it as an assistant coach in college football. Went up to Memphis and took him about maybe a day, day and a half, 2 days to realize, nope, I've got to go back home to Brother Martin. And thank goodness they hadn't filled the spot yet, and he was able to come back and found a home. And I think he's happier now than he's ever been. And you look at the adversity personally that he and his wife have had to face with their young son, and we haven't talked about that, but baby Mark, born with an abdominal problem where many of his organs were born outside of the body, and yet he and his wife stayed in faith, and they fought through that, and baby Mark is doing better. He's better than stable, and there's a bright outlook for baby Mark, and what Mark Bonice and his wife have had to go through is something very, very special, and you credit both of them because it is special. His wife Rebecca.
Well, you know, yeah, absolutely, and you know, you talk about the college move right there, and Mark and I spoke about it at length, and it's a whole different world. It isn't that we in the high school level don't put the hours in that college coaches put in. It's just a different intensity of the hours. You know, and if you talk to Garrett Chattree, who you alluded to a little while ago at Western Kentucky, I mean, he's all over the country recruiting.
He was hoping to be here tonight.
Correct.
He had to fly out and he was down in New Orleans last night recruiting at one of the games there and couldn't make it up here tonight because he was on a plane flying to a different state to recruit.
So it's tough on families from the college standpoint, and I think Mark realized that as his wife was pregnant at the time with their baby, and they're two girls. I'm sorry, they're twin girls, and figured it out that it just wasn't what he wanted to do, and I understand completely. And you know, Brother Martin has been his home now for a while, and Brother Martin didn't fill the job like you said, and he was so grateful, and he is so grateful to be in such a great institution like Brother Martin.
Hey, Austin Roberts made that second down stop for the Crusaders, and then you got the delay of game, which moves Ponchatoula back a little bit, so now they're facing 3rd down and 19, putting themselves or digging themselves deeper in this hole. So let's see if Finley has got some magic on 3rd down, or at least can get some of it back. He'll move out of the pocket, being chased from behind. He escapes, the big man. Look at Finley come around the side. He's just got to get out of bounds. And that was close.
Well, he's pleading for the call. I don't think he's going to get it.
I said, that was very, very close, but he was chased by the sophomore, Austin Roberts, who has been playing on this series off the bench. We called his name just moments ago, and taking advantage of this opportunity to show the coaches at Brother Martin, hey, he can get in there and make some stops and make some hits, but you can see the frustration on T.J. Finley's face.
Well, you can read it on his body language, too. I want to go back to the thought I was talking about before the 6-minute water break. You know, what LSU's going to do with a guy like T.J. Finley is they're able to mold their offense around what the talents of your quarterback are and still stay within realm of what their theory is as an offensive unit. So they'll take him and they'll mold him into what they want to do.
All right, penalty on that punt. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll figure out the penalty and tell you how Devon Moore picked up that ball and ran out of bounds with it. All right, the penalty is going to move Brother Martin back. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct.
I didn't really see what the unsportsmanlike conduct was during the punt return, but it's going to take Brother Martin out of what would have been pretty decent field position.
Well, they kicked it away from Devon Moore. And now the Crusaders will keep it on the ground with a new runner coming in. And that's going to be Clayton Lonardo. Torrey Lambert's also in the game. So Mark Bonise giving some of the younger players a chance to get some experience and see some action. Clayton Lonardo is a freshman. He's a quarterback backing up both Mamahat and Corey Lambert, who can play that position as an athlete. And there's just nowhere to go.
Well, these guys.
Tyler Bailey jumps in there and makes the stop on Torrey Lambert.
These guys are getting some JV reps right now. All right, so he's got probably his JV offense, which also will probably be playing a Saturday morning JV game in the city tomorrow morning. But they're getting lanyard reps tonight, which is exciting for those young kids, and it's exciting for those parents sitting over there in those bleachers getting to see their kids play some varsity action here in Ponchatoula tonight.
So again, Clayton Lonardo, one of your backup quarterbacks, in there now, and he's just going to wisely throw it away. He didn't know where to go with it, and a good decision by him.
Covered everybody right there, and he just takes it, and he's out of the pocket. And there's none of those rule, whereas you're in the pocket, out of the pocket, like they have in the NFL. It just takes it and chunks it out of bounds over the receiver's head.
98, Lance Hilliard is another one of those freshmen. Again, you've got 2 freshmen starting on this defense and 4 sophomores. So, yeah, you are seeing a Ponchatoula team that's being manhandled a bit by Brother Martin, but you're looking at a young team on both sides of the football. Again, defense, 2 freshmen, 4 sophomores. Offense, 7 sophomores start on the offense. So Hank Tierney definitely building for the future. He knows he has some super freshmen and sophomores, and
well, the future's bright, and
it is.
Yeah, they're going to be moving into district play next week over here on the North Shore, and it's a great football district, and they'll compete well in it. And hopefully, going forward down the line, you know, they can work out some of these consistency problems on offense and put themselves back into a playoff picture.
Fair catch called for by Elijah Winters. Let's talk about Garrett Mamahat as he just takes a breather now, and this young man has had a pretty good night here in this, leading Brother Martin to this 45-10 lead in the third quarter. Again, you know, he doesn't do anything at times that would get this offense in trouble.
Well, he's not flashy, but what he does is he operates the game for Brother Martin perfectly, stays inside the game plan. He's a bright mind with football knowledge. He soaks it up, what he's being taught, and he's just not going to put you in a bad situation.
He threw his first interception tonight, but that's about the only thing he did wrong, and he did just about everything else right. That's DeMontrell Osby. But Garrett Mamahat again, and you know, his dad, talking to his dad, and asked his dad last year when he suddenly thrust into the spotlight, how did you help him? What did you tell him? He said, the first thing I told him was, it's okay to make a mistake. Drew Brees throws interceptions. Drew Brees throws incompletions. You don't have to be perfect. The second thing I taught him was, right out of Hoosiers, man, let's go look at the football field. It's 120 yards long. Guess what? 53 and a half wide. You've been playing on these since you've been 6 years old. It's okay. Just play football. This is what you came here for. This is what you were made for. Incomplete pass brings up 3rd and 8. And after that, it was just go out and be yourself. And when he started against Jesuit, he said, look, nobody's expecting anything. Play loose. Nobody's expecting anything from you for this game. And he went out, played loose, and they pulled off the big 16-8 upset over the Blue Jays last year in his first official start, because he did get to play the second half the week before against Shaw, where he won the quarterbacking job. So that was a huge, huge experience. And now Kevin Mamahat says, now all we do is teach him how to handle the media, give praise to the right people, make sure he takes care of his offensive lines and handle everything correctly. They taught him that when he, just in case he would get interviewed if something good happened. And there's a sharply pass thrown by T.J. Finley, but incomplete.
Well,
is intended.
He's got all the tools.
Co-defender.
He's got all the tools, and there's a lot to be said for the quarterback that keeps you in what it is you're trying to do, keeps you in your game plan, keeps you on track, doesn't make mental mistakes. And that's what you've got in Garrett Mamahat, and I think that's what you'll see going forward. As he gets older, he'll only get better.
And look, they've got him for 3 years. Look, people are talking about him like they talked about Jake Brogy, and people remember Jake Brogy, 3-year starter, but he struggled that sophomore year. Not struggled, but it took him a while to learn and to get the offenses down. And last year he was playing with offenses that really weren't built for him, that they were built for another quarterback. He was built for the starter, Andrew Martin, who was injured, and suddenly you've got both Tarragano and Mamahat trying to run an offense that really wasn't made for their skill sets.
Well, they're all going to learn the offense on what they've got to do. I mean, let's take the Saints this week. That's what I keep hearing about. Like, he can't. The quarterback came in, the backup came in the other night for Breeze, and
fumble,
and he doesn't get to.
And a great opportunity right there, and Ponchatoula couldn't pick it up and can't advance that, so it's going to come back.
Getting back to what I was saying, a quarterback that's a backup can't come in and operate on the offensive scheme that's set for the starter. Well, that's a true statement, but in a way it's really not true, because even though you're not getting all the reps that the starter's getting that week in practice, that backup comes in and still has to operate the preciseness or the particular core of the offense that you're running. And that's what Mamahat did last year. And then, of course, over the summer with all the work that they've done, they've expanded on the offense with him, and he'll only grow and get better, as I said, as time
invalid fair catch
keeps
signal.
going.
It's going to be fun watching him develop.
That's a 5-yard penalty.
For the fair catch.
It will be a first down this play.
Another look. That's what this is all about.
I think I saw that in a Saints game 2 weeks ago. Here we go. You can't do that.
Yeah, there's a little wave there, and
that's illegal fair catch. That's a penalty in any league. I think he was running for his life. Did anybody really see that? I think I'm just going to try to get out of here, because I know when I get over to the sidelines, I'm going to get my tail chewed.
Keep running right toward the buses.
Yeah, maybe somebody didn't see that, but they saw it.
Well, Mark Bonise has the pleasure, as we said on the last series, of giving a lot of people some experience here. And right now you've got a new quarterback in Corey Lambert Jr., Clayton Lonardo. We got the last series, Corey Lambert, son, of course, of the coach, Corey Lambert Sr. He's more of a runner than a thrower, and his brother Torrey plays on this team also. Rushing numbers, hadn't thrown a whole lot. He likes to run, and he's got that ability. Classified as an athlete. It's pulled down by Darren Brider.
Well, he's an athlete. He can play in the secondary. He can play as a backup quarterback. They have a package set up for him. He's kind of like number 7 with the Saints, right?
Yeah.
They have a certain package set up for him, but he can still run the core of the offense.
Well, you ask the coaches, where can he play? And they'll tell you quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and either of the defensive back spots, cornerback or safety. He's just an athlete. We love him. And he'll play hard, come at you hard every single play.
He got a little dinged up on this play.
Yeah, Lonardo's back in, throws low, incomplete. Intended for Julian Oob, also off the bench, a sophomore getting his first action in this game. Oob, they're going to call that a catch. So a nice grab going down low for Julian Oob, a 5'8", 160-pound wide receiver.
He got those little fingers together and got the hands underneath the ball to make a really nice catch.
That'll bring up 3rd down and short. Lonardo still in. He'll hand off. Corey Lambert's brother. the younger brother by a year. Darren Brider on the stop, but Brother Martin moves the chains, gets the first down, and the Crusaders doing what they want to do, just run clock. That probably will be the last play. They don't have to snap it here in the third quarter. As the third quarter comes to an end, the Crusaders will huddle up around Coach Mark Bonice, and the Green Wave will head over to Hank Tierney. So with that, we'll take a break. 1 quarter to play here at the Swamp in Ponchatoula. The Crusaders cruising 45-10, and it's been a hard-hitting contest by the Crusader defense.
42 years in a row. Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Your home for the best in coverage of pro, college, and prep sports in the New Orleans area is CrescentCitySports.com. Whether it's news, opinions, live video webcasts of high school sports, or Louisiana's best prep football scoreboard, you can get it all at Crescent City Sports. The name may be new, but it's the same great coverage you've gotten for years from our team of New Orleans natives. Click it now and like us on social media at CrescentCitySports.com.
12 minutes to play here at the Swamp, and you're looking at some of the Dominican Debs dancing for the Brother Martin Crusader Band, and the drum major of that band is my godchild, Alexander Phillips.
Oh, there you go.
Big honor for Alexander, and got a shot of him right there real briefly. Ken Berthelot, Wade Kaiser, our entire Cox Sports Television and CrescentCitySports.com crew bringing you this game. You've had some great pictures, great shots tonight. And you're seeing backup players in for Brother Martin. Clayton Lonardo, Corey Lambert. That's Lonardo, number 14. He'll be working at the quarterback spot. Sometimes if Corey Lambert's okay, they may put him back in there as an athlete. They'd like to see him take some snaps there also. Lambert's a sophomore, so the future of this program is Corey Lambert and Clayton Lonardo. Lonardo, and, of course, little Tory Lambert, Corey Lambert's brother. So Bonice has some talent.
Right. He's got some
talent stacked up.
You know, the Lambert brothers are very athletic. They take after their dad, who played at John Ehret High School.
They'll just keep this on the ground. Want that clock to run. Tory Lambert getting the call. Tory, 1 year younger than his brother, Corey.
If you notice, they're running all the same stuff that we've seen them run since the first quarter. They're still running the inside zone, the outside stretch sweep, the counter plays, just the core and the basics of their offense.
Nothing fancy. You're not going to see anything go in the air unless they absolutely have to. And Tory Lambert, with a couple of nifty moves, will move the chains, gets the first down. Darren Brider made the tackle.
Tory Lambert's got a little burst. He's got a little pop to him.
So what does Ponchatoula have to do? And we'll talk about Brother Martin, too, before they start district play next week.
Well, Ponchatoula's got to find a way to be consistent on offense, and they've got to find a way to stop somebody on defense, because they, obviously haven't stopped Brother Martin tonight, because they're going to be seeing a lot of good offenses coming up in this North Shore League. Mandeville, St. Paul's is back running a physical offense, and they beat a good Jesuit football team last week, and we'll get a good look at the schedule here in a second when it comes up. There it is right there. They've got Covington, North Shore, Mandeville, who spreads the ball around, Slidell, who can score some points. St. Paul scored some points last week on a good Jesuit football team, and then Hammond's getting better. So they're going to have
draw a circle around Slidell and Hammond. Those two games always, no matter what the records, that's some big games for Ponchatoula.
Well, they've got to find a way to get consistent on offense, get T.J. Finley consistent.
Tory Lambert on the run again. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Then they've got to find a way to be able to stop somebody. Hanks right now is probably searching his mind, like, what do we have to do defensively to be able to get some sort of stops? He'll go back to work tomorrow. He's got a great staff. He's got a great group of kids, and he'll figure it out.
Well, Lonardo dropped it and then just falls on it on third down. That'll bring up fourth down for Brother Martin.
There's one thing I can say about Hank Tierney is, besides being a Hall of Fame football coach, he's going to end up figuring this out. All right, he knows what to do to fix it, and he'll get it fixed.
And he does know part of it, again, is the youth that he has. And that's just something that you've got to wait and give that youth experience. And this is the year those freshmen and sophomores are going to mature and be the team Hank Tierney, I think, hopes they will be as they become juniors and seniors. But he's still got to find that consistency and find a way to get some points on the board. And I think that's just real critical for him.
How far is this field goal?
And
look at this.
This is your backup kicker, Clayton Lonardo.
Well, I saw Jack Landry kicking 50-yard field goals.
Encroachment, defense number 28. 5-yard penalty, still fourth down.
In pregame, so it's going to be interesting to see what the backup kicker can kick right here, and he just got a gift of 5 yards reduced in the length of the kick.
I watched the Brother Martin Carver game last week and watched the backup kicker in warm-ups. And for a little bitty guy, and I'm telling you, he is a little bitty, 5'3" freshman, all of 104 pounds. And he had a better leg last week warming up than he did on that attempt. So no good on that one. And Ponchatoula will have the ball when we come back in the fourth quarter, trailing 45-10, 8:41 to play.
Tell me about it. The kids need braces, I need a root canal, and Dad's old dentures are broken. That means 3 dental appointments all across town.
Bobby Abear?
Mom, you need to call Louisiana Dental Center. They see kids and adults and have specialists at every location. They even have Friday and Saturday appointments.
That's great. I'll call him now. But who's going to do the dishes?
Yeah, I know, me and my big mouth.
Riverlands Insurance Services, a team of professional agents serving Southeast Louisiana for over 40 years, focused on planning, implementing quality with personalized insurance.
The strength of our company is our core of over 90 professionals specializing in the everyday needs of family to the complex world of business and risk management.
Cost-effective insurance planning is how we help our families and our businesses every day. We don't wait for a disaster, we prepare for them.
Count on Riverlands Insurance Services.
Well, for the final 8:41, we're going to see a different quarterback now. So TJ Finley taken out of the game, and Logan Johnston, one of the backups, along with Jacoby Matthews, can both take it. And they're going to see if they can find a little spark with him and give him some experience just in case as they start district play next week. And the run is by Jonathan Gonzalez, another one of the young players brought down by Noah Sashery.
A lot of new guys in there for the Green Wave, getting an opportunity to get some reps in. And like I said, this is kind of settled into possibly what you would consider as a JV battle for the next 8-14, 8-13 to finish this out. And it's great that these guys get this opportunity. And, both coaches, both of them veteran coaches, know how important it is to get these guys some Friday night experience.
Well, they're trying to establish some type of a run, but it's going to be tough for Jonathan Gonzalez and anybody else who runs the ball as they go up against a defense that's just been stingy. Andrew Lyon, one of the backups on the defensive line, in to make the stop for the Brother Martin Crusaders.
Well, it's always exciting to see these different guys that don't get on the depth chart the reps that the ones always get. And I'll tell you why. These guys work hard every day in practice, Ken. They're the show teams. They're the guys giving the look each week for the one offense or the one defense. And it's great to get an opportunity to be able to come in and get some Friday night lights, like I said.
Ashton Vining off the bench, a sophomore on the catch, and just another one of those guys that can get some experience as part of the youth movement by Hank Tierney for the next few years, and that'll bring up 4th down and 1. Didn't get the first.
Well, I guarantee he gets home tonight, his mama's going to be one happy mama. She's going to be hugging him up. Mama Vining will be hugging him up like, I saw you catch that football. And that's great. That's what high school football is all about.
Jake Lights to punt. Delaney is back this time. Gets good leg into it, and Delaney with the fair catch. And the Crusaders will have good field position at about their 43-yard line. Let's talk Brother Martin and see what they've got ahead, because the Crusaders start district play next week, and it's always big when Brother Martin and Jesuit meet.
I was talking with the Brother Martin staff before the game, and you could see the schedule right there. It's the Catholic League with Terrebonne in there on week 8 on their bye, and from top to bottom, it's a tough schedule. But we were talking about who was the rivals. Who are your rivals? Well, today in the Catholic League, every kid's got a different rival. You know, Brother Martin Jesuit game is huge for a certain group of kids. You know, the Brother Martin Holy Cross game is huge. The Brother Martin Rumble game for those kids that live in Metairie that go to Brother Martin is huge. So every week, week in, week out in the Catholic League, it's a rivalry game between two teams.
Yeah, Lonardo with the handoff to Troy Santa Marina. Had a couple of carries earlier in the year, and he'll get some time now. And another thing about rivalries today is kids play, some only play traveling baseball, but most of them play multiple sports. Lonardo on the roll, Lonardo with the man, and just threw it on the wrong side of him, incomplete. But with these kids playing in so many sports, and they play Little League, they meet each other, they see each other, you go to different schools, and we're going to take a break right here with this timeout. So we'll take this break. This is the hydration break, and back in a moment.
Lamarck Lincoln is now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's state of the art. You're gonna love walking into the Lincoln store. 8 years here in New Orleans, you couldn't even buy one? LL, Lamarck Lincoln is back.
Toothache.
Gingivitis.
Plaque.
Cavity. Tartar. Tooth decay.
Gum disease.
Abscess tooth.
What's that?
A feeling.
Not a frown.
A bridge?
You mean I need a root canal?
Come on, man.
The only thing worse than hearing those words is hearing that your dentist can't see you right away. Call Louisiana Dental Center. We'll see you today.
Lamarck Lincoln is now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's state of the art. You're gonna love walking into the Lincoln store. 8 years here in New Orleans, you couldn't even buy one? LL, Lamarck Lincoln is back.
The Ponchatoula Green Wave dance team. They know better things are ahead for their Green Wave, and tonight's just not been their night. They ran up against a pretty good Brother Martin Crusader team, leading 45-10. Mark Bonice thinking ahead to next week already?
Well, I don't think he's thinking about it right now at 5:45. I think he's thinking about how he's going to manage the rest of his players that are young out there on the field.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to do, is manage his personnel, get as many kids on the field right now to get reps that he can, because they work hard every day, as I said, in practice. But I'm going to tell you, the minute he gets done talking to that team tonight, as he's stepping on that bus and settling in for the ride back to Chili Gentili, it's on his mind. The guys in blue. That's going to be on his mind. I mean, because he knows it's there, and he knows it's time, and he knows it's the Catholic League.
Jack Landry with a good high punt. Well, both of them trying to get a hand on it. And a little bit of a return by Tyrese Primus for the Green Wave. Gives him a little bit of field room to work with here.
Well, get those young guys with some field position and teach them the game right here, understanding that they have
flag on the play.
3 timeouts. Oops, it's going to be brought back, so might not be as good field position as we were looking at.
And I don't know if it's the lighting or what, but it's like the 3rd time we missed a flag by the officials.
They're sneaky.
Yeah, they are.
They just kind of lay it on the ground.
Camouflage.
Block in the back. Return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It'll be first down, Ponchatoula.
Well, with that, we will take a break. Logan Johnston, in place of TJ Finley, drops the snap and just falls on it.
See, now that's from not getting enough reps at practice. You know, your number one is going to take about 80 to 85% of all the reps in practice. That includes skill pass, that includes team, that includes all the throw-in drills and run drills that they do. The last 15 or 20% is going to come to your number twos and number threes, and that's what ends up taking place when you don't get enough of those snaps like that. You end up putting the ball on the ground.
That's okay. Well, at least he made the right play and didn't turn it over, fall on it. And again, Johnston and Gonzalez are going to take us through the end. TJ Finley came out last series, and you could see the frustration on that young man's face. He wanted more. And it's just not all coming together for him. You know, he's a senior in a freshman-sophomore-laden offense, and it's something that will probably play on his mind. And I think the biggest thing for TJ is to just understand that I've got talent, but they're young, and it's going to take a while.
Well,
toss that out to the right side, and
you know,
that's Stephen Guano with the catch. So who might be added to this list besides T.J. Finley down the road? Maybe even Jacoby Matthews down the road. But how about this? How about, well, you see a couple of Josephs on there and Mickey Guidry. And
I've coached against a few of those guys, and you know, what a great list, huh? I mean, you know, it's they were all tutored by that guy right there on your screen. Like I said, as a Hall of Fame coach, and T.J. Finley could be one of those guys that's added to that list.
Jonathan Gonzalez with the big breaker. All the way, Jonathan Gonzalez. 57 yards for the score.
Nice, great cut right at the line of scrimmage. Eludes a couple Brother Martin tackles, gets into the secondary and runs away from everybody. That's a great, great feeling for that young man. Look at the counterplay coming into your living room right there. Nice little cut inside, makes everybody miss. Runs away from everybody in the secondary. And he's going to get Mama Gonzalez going to be hugging up on him tonight.
Yeah, it's that little bitty lift.
Look at that smile.
That a team needs and that a young man needs as he's growing and learning and coming off the bench and getting him some PT, a little primetime action for Jonathan Gonzalez.
Good for him. Look at that. Everybody's happy for him because he works just as hard at practice as everybody does, and he gets that opportunity to be able to shine tonight. They'll be able to take a copy of this game. Yep. Hopefully it's being DVR'd at home. Do you DVR things anymore? Is that what you do?
A few people do.
Well, I don't know. I don't know all the technology, but I mean, I'm an old guy.
Just send it right to the cloud.
Right. Exactly. I didn't know.
I'm an old guy with you. I just said that because it sounded cool, okay?
Right. So I'm sure hopefully they'll have a copy of that tonight, and that'll be something that he'll be showing his grandkids in the years to come.
Well, Jake Lights kicked the point, and with 3:08 to go, 45-17. And both coaches are taking this opportunity to go deep in the bench and let some younger players or players who just don't get a lot of playing time get some experience and get a little PT in this game. Because it all gets, as we've talked about so many times, real next week as district play for these two teams start. And Hank Tierney, look, he's turned around a lot of programs. He turned this one around at one time. He'll turn it around again. He did it at West Jefferson. He built a dynasty at Shaw. And he's had success here at Ponchatoula, and he's counting on 2020 and 2021 to be phenomenal years for him. And again, we put up that list. He's the fourth winningest. A lot of knowledge.
Well, he's a Hall of Fame coach,
without question.
And as I said earlier tonight, he's just not a great football coach. He's a great mentor for young men, and he has been at every stop he's been at. And every program he's been at has been better for having a guy like Hank Tierney at the helm.
Julian Oob.
There we go. A lot of different guys coming in for
That
Brother
return.
Martin. A lot of different jerseys right there coming in that we haven't seen tonight. Got your call sheet out?
Oh, man, I've got all the rosters out now. Look out.
Trying to grab all those numbers. Same way, a lot of different green numbers out there, too.
Lonardo remains at quarterback. And they're just going to keep that on the ground as Troy Santa Marina gets a run. Had a couple of carries in the first game before tonight and getting a chance to play a little bit more. He's one of the freshman running backs.
Mark Bonice has a bunch of young guys in his skilled positions. You know, he got the Lambert boys. He's got Santa Maria right here.
Another good look at Santa Maria with that little burst of speed and quick little hit and slips off a few tackles. And that's what you like to see these young kids do, just giving that effort.
Jared West, who now plays up at Northwestern, his younger brother, who's on the roster, Jordan, is on his way up. He's an 8th grader playing 8th grade football right now at Brother Martin. You'll see him next year up on the varsity as a 9th grader. A lot of young guys, a lot of young talent in that Brother Martin offense and defense.
And they're just eating clock and letting it run. We're down to the 2-minute mark in this game. Brother Martin has it happily wrapped up for the Crusader fans at 45-17, and they remain undefeated on the year at 3-0.
Right now they're thinking about Hi-Ho. They're trying to figure it out how they're going to get over to Hi-Ho and get some barbecue.
Let that clock run. They can get the Hi-Ho before it closes or call in an order, get it on the buses on the way back to New Orleans.
Exactly.
Santa Marina.
He's got a little pop, doesn't he? He hits that hole in
Yeah.
that inside zone really quick. He gets his shoulder pads north and south. This little guy is going to have a future.
And again, good to see Clayton Lonardo. You've got a freshman that's getting some key reps in a game like this because Corey Lambert Jr. he has not come back into the game since he left with that just a little shoulder injury, whatever, or did something bother him. Not even sure if it was an injury. Here's Lonardo and a keeper around the right side. Gets pushed out of bounds, but just an overall solid performance by a team, and I think this is exactly what the Crusader coaching staff wanted to see, and maybe the kind of game they needed before they go into district play.
Well, absolutely, and it's also, believe it or not, and we haven't talked about this. This is these are PowerPoints moving forward towards the end of the season when the playoff picture starts to take hold.
Be a little bit different this year with all the selects choosing not to go to the Dome.
You don't want to get me started. Don't lead me down that path.
Hey, 25 seconds. We don't have time to get into that discussion because this one is going to wrap up right about here. They're going to let this clock run down, and this one's going to end with a 45-17 victory for Brother Martin over Ponchatoula. Brother Martin stays undefeated at 3-0, and the Ponchatoula Green Wave fall to 1-2 on the season. Lost their opener, came back to win last week, and then lost tonight to the Brother Martin Crusaders. We'll be back with our postgame right after this as the coaches and team shakes hands. We'll be back right after this.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
Having a collision center on the premises where you sell new and used vehicles is a dream come true. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. It's open now. One thing about us, we strive for perfection. Our pre-owned department is magnificent. We are Kelly Blue Book authorized dealer. All makes and models, we're buying them every day. We will purchase your vehicle. We will pay off your existing loan, whether you buy a car or not.
Around here, we like things local, very local. Get the home field advantage when buying or refinancing your home with the local mortgage lending experts. NOLA Lending Group, a division of Fidelity Bank. NOLA Lending, now the proud mortgage lender of your New Orleans Saints.
High school football from Crescent City Sports on Cox Sports Television is brought to you by Lamarck Ford. See all the huge things happening at the big store in Kenner. By the Allstate Sugar Bowl, sponsor of all LHSAA championship events. By NOLA Lending Group, your home field advantage. By Riverlands Insurance, meeting all your insurance needs. And by the Louisiana Dental Centers, your dental home team. We are back here at the Swamp, and Brother Martin enjoying a 45-17 win over Ponchatoula. And you see the Crusader team talking amongst themselves, and we should be joined now by winning head coach Mark Bonis. And let's see if Mark is by the headsets.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
Okay, Mark, fantastic. Thanks for being with us. First of all, just congratulations on the win. Was this the kind of victory or the kind of game you were hoping for and expecting before you start district play?
Yes, sir. Excited about this. I thought we came together in all three phases tonight. Really had not played a complete game in all three phases. This was the closest thing to it. So we had a great week of preparation in all three phases, and I thought we came out and executed the plan very well.
Right. Hey, Mark, it's Wade Kaiser up here. We talked before the game, and it was great to see you tonight. And one of the things that we had as a key up here for you was how well your offensive line had to be physical and play tonight. Can you tell us a little bit about the expectations and what you thought, how your offensive line played tonight?
Well, the expectations here at Brother Martin, and you know this, I mean, it's when you coach here, Coach, we expect our offensive linemen to be blue-collar guys. That's the expectation. Our line coaches do a great job, Coach Zoran, Coach Green, and we expect our run game to be very good year in, year out. Last year we struggled a little bit with youth, but all those guys are back, and most of those guys are back for another year. So we're excited about the guys we have in that unit. And we obviously have two really, really, really good backs and two really good young backs. So the future is bright, and as long as they keep working and coming to work with that blue-collar mentality, we're really excited about the future.
Mark, I want to go back and look at the backs because you talk about Jalen Spears and Chris Smith, and it just seems like when the offensive line opens a hole, you can't stop those guys. They find it, they pick it, then they find a way to run the daylight, which is so special.
They do a great job of getting skinny, getting small, finding windows. Last week, Chris Smith had a great run where he made two guys miss, really two unblocked guys. So I know this, if we do our job up front with the Hogs and in blocking guys, those guys are going to be very special all year.
Mark, one last question real quick. Just to elaborate how good your defense is, the guy that's really playing well for you is Noah Labe. Tell us a little bit about him.
And he's been lights out, and so we talk about this is the thing that's important with him. He's a student of the game. He's a great football player, but everything you talk about in wanting, in young men, young student athletes, he stands for. We have important program principles we talk about: team, tough, compete, finish. He embodies those things. He embodies those principles. He comes to work every day, and to me, that's the most important thing. And you can tell by his level of preparation, how he plays is because of his level of preparation.
Mark Bonis, congratulations on this victory. Best of luck as you start district play against Jesuit next week.
Thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure talking to y'all. Always great to see y'all.
Thanks for coming over and stopping to talk with us.
Good luck, Mark. Have a great one.
Good luck.
Thank you, Coach. Thank y'all.
Wade, before we wrap it up, your final thoughts on this game and the type of performance you saw, not only from Brother Martin, but also for Ponchatoula as they start district play.
Well, going into district play, there's a lot of questions that still aren't answered for Ponchatoula, Ken. One of the things is some sort of consistency on offense, especially out of T.J. Finley and his offensive line. Those sort of things got to get answered quick, okay? Defensively, they've got to find a way to stop somebody. They've got to find a way to be able to get off the field, and tonight they did not. So I know tomorrow they'll go right back to work. That coaching staff will go right back to work to figure out a way as they go into Covington next week to start district play.
Well, as you watch the Brother Martin team get together and celebrate with their fans and their alma mater and on their side of the court, or the field rather, again, just want to thank everybody for being with us tonight because there's more high school football next Friday at 7 from Tulane's Yeoman Stadium when the Newman Greenies face the Country Day Cajuns. So for Wade Kaiser and our entire CST and Crescent City Sports crew, I'm Ken Berthelot saying so long from Ponchatoula. Once again, your final score is Brother Martin 45 and Ponchatoula 17. from the swamp in Ponchatoula. Good night, everybody.